Hey guys, for the extra Sunday content, as well as bonus weekly content on top of that, go to our Patreon link in the description and find the Black Kluge tier or higher and subscribe.
Artie, maybe it's to take makeup off.
You want to know something? I'm going to tell you something great about Beth.
Yeah.
She never moves her bowels.
Well, I'll tell you
Maybe
what.
once a month.
I've never seen. I've been.
Honest to God.
I've been away with Dana,
Like, to the point
and
that I'm afraid for her health.
We've
Getting excellent reports on you.
Do you ever shut up, or does Mr. X just have to punch her in the face?
Now you're going to bring me. So
shut up.
Ask the producer of the, Robin, when you get an opinion on your own, I'll talk to you.
Are you?
I've put out hit albums. I had the fastest selling album in history. What, are you going to be upset with Jason because he whacks off to your wife? I mean, that turns me on. And I got up and I pished. I don't want to be in a wig and a purse. I do that in my personal life. Yes, I'm like a woman who's been raped.
How much is Howard paying you a week? I'm paying you more, okay? Fucking, give me a fucking break.
Now look, I don't want to get into a long explanation. That's not what I came here for. My audience isn't here. They're here to laugh. I mean, Gary's got wife and kids. And if I leave, who the fuck is going to hire him? Joe, hi, you're on the air.
Hey,
Hey, man.
Howard.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Man, nothing.
Listen, I think it's time you come out of the closet with Ralph.
Oh, please.
Because I know deep down, I mean that literally.
All right, so I'm a homosexual.
You're a sword swallower.
Right. I'm homosexual. You're right.
Thanks, Howard.
Right. I'm going to tell you. I'm caught. Good. In fact, that's good. That would be easy. I'd love to be gay. It'd be so goddamn simple. But then when people ask me about why I'm separated from my wife, I just go, you know what? I'm gay.
I told you something. I will not say no. I told you it's a personal defect of mine.
You don't have to say no. All you have to say is, yeah, that'd be great. I could use the help with Casey. That's fine.
No, I don't want to be told how to say it. I told you my problem. I don't want to be asked. You don't know that?
Bad position.
No, you put me in a bad position. You asked me. Then I'm not a good guy. I want to be a good guy. I don't. Listen to me again. I'm going to say for the 15th billionth time since I've known you. Don't ask me if you can leave early. You know what you have to do, and you know when you have to leave. Don't ask me.
So that means when I have to work
When I
late,
say
can
yes,
leave?
you can leave, it means no.
Late, can I leave?
I have no idea what you make.
Really?
I have no idea.
I got a guy now who's finding out the real names and the occupations of what the people do who bully me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm kind of a fighter, so...
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to QF, a podcast about Howard Stern. I'm your host, as always, Phil Moore, a.k.a. Jim Fix. And with me today is Raven. Hello, my dear. How are you?
Hi, Fillmore. I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh, getting there. We have a lot of clips, guys, so we're not going to mess around too much today. We've got, in this particular episode, it's a lot of COVID bullshit, but we figure, and I'm sure Raven will agree, we haven't discussed it outright, that now we're past the pandemic, not past it, but the biggest waves are kind of behind us, we think, we hope, and it won't be that much big of a deal if we talk about it, because there, for a while there, especially on the page, we just would not allow COVID bullshit because people would argue and it was kind of pointless. But the reasons being for this, that they're being hypocrites to Booey about going out and Robin going out and then Beth going out. There was a lot of stuff this week. It's very rare we get this recent stuff tied together like this and make everybody, including Howard, look like shit regarding this. So, yeah.
I just want to say it's been 2 years and 3 months since the staff has been at home and Wiggy's been in his bowling basement. So 2 years and 3 months later, this is how Beth, Booey, Ronnie, everybody's kind of Robin is like just clawing to get out and have a life. Mm-hmm. And Wiggy's the only one that's just like, I'm fine. I'm all good. Why are he's going to dish it out to everybody else. So let's get rolling.
Okay, so first we got a couple of lines that we're going to read, and the first one here is from 15th of June. This permanent A-list, mostly movie actor, all of you know, with multiple Oscar nominations and wins, is set to be placed in hospice care. It says here Jack Nicholson because he's got dementia, and so his kids are taken care of. That's why he hasn't acted, I don't think, in, I don't know, maybe 10 years since the last time he was in a film.
It's been a long time, and he hasn't been at Lakers games. He hasn't been seen out in public at all.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was not really a huge fan, and I became a little bit of a fan later on with certain films. And last night, we just watched for the first time ever with the wife, As Good as It Gets, and what a great. I was always told by my sister, such a great script and great performances, and it could have been released in the 50s. Aside from the language, some of it really was good film, I have to say. So anybody curious, just check it out if you've been putting it off. The next one, did you want to read this one? The 6'8" 187 right here.
You've got it too small on my screen.
Okay, I'll do it then. Let's see. This permanent A-list entertainer actress, Liza Minnelli, has been married multiple times. Many of them have been bearding situations, including the first, but the reason for that marriage was escape. Our entertainer/actress is not going to live much longer, and she's been sharing stories with a ghostwriter. Most of the stories I've heard before, but she dropped a big one I hadn't heard before. She says that from the time she was 12 or 13 until she got married, she was forced by her mother, Judy Garland, to sleep with actors, actresses, producers, directors, or anyone else that was in a position to do her a favor. Our actress says she was forced to sleep with hundreds of people, all at the direction of her mom, who would beat her if she tried to get out of it or if she was not sufficiently, quote, enthusiastic. Yeah.
This is one of the slimiest things that I always complain about in the industry.
Oh, yeah.
The way they take advantage of children and groom them from such a young age, like Disney and just across the board, not just Disney, but we know that they've had quite a few instances themselves. And this goes way back. This isn't like our time frame. This was before we were, born. This has been going on in Hollywood since the dawn of time, since it began. And even before that, in other, parts of the world, in other ways, like just, it's atrocious. It's heinous. And I can't stand hearing these stories. I think it's just disgusting.
Well, especially considering that, like, who was it? Renee Zellweger just got an Oscar for portraying Judy, like late stage Judy Garland, who was immensely talented. But if this really is true, I don't know that there's too many fans gonna be able to really, really look at her the same way again. And she's dead. Like, Judy's dead. Liza's gonna be dead. No one's gonna care really. But it just that's how legacies get ruined. Stuff like this comes out, and like Papa John Phillips, when the Mackenzie Phillips book came out. Who the fuck how many hits do you think the Mamas and the Papas catalog on the radio stations got after that?
I can't imagine, but I'm also thinking of Carrie Fisher, who was the daughter of Debbie Reynolds and had humongous drug problems.
Huge.
And I wonder why these women have alcoholism, have drug problems, from a young age. They're tortured. They're put through all this, adult behavior before they're even ready. And they're practically, using them as pieces to get roles in films, which is disgusting in itself. But it's awful. It's just awful.
The latest one is it's from the 16th. The Connection. Many years ago, I wrote in this very space that I believed that the CEO of a company, RCA Records, was being blackmailed by the billionaire pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. At that time, I also said that I believed it's had something to do with underage boys, but that I was not 100% sure. While doing some research, I had the opportunity to talk to a former member of a boy band. I wanted to ask him directly about the rumors that members of the rotating group, Menudo, were molested and abused by record label executives in general, but more specifically a record executive, Jose Menendez, who would later be found murdered. Not only did he confirm that, but he stated that the record label executive and the CEO shared the same common interest, child sexual abuse. That would also back up what the defendants, sons Lyle and Eric Menendez, in the murder trial also alleged, but they probably would have no way of knowing about the CEO. The billionaire pedophile knew, though, and would have it used to his advantage. Would have used it to his advantage. So, yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to still doesn't understand why Epstein was fucking murdered, and I know there's no fucking suicide, man. That was oof.
Yeah.
Oof, Jesus. When I think about it, because I think about, okay, Ghislaine Maxwell, they're still amazingly keeping her alive, but the real fish is now dead, and I just keep thinking, like, what did we lose out by missing out on his testimony now that he's dead?
Exactly. How much dirt was he going to dish? It would have taken down.
Yeah.
It could have taken down multiple industries. Just movies, music, you name
royalty.
it, politics, royals.
Yeah.
It was all anybody with money.
Yeah.
You know, that whole 1% crew, there's a lot of names that have been on manifestos or in the little black book.
Yep.
And it makes you wonder, you know, we're still waiting for a link with Sloucho, because if there were boys on that island, well, I know somebody that would have a twink fest of his own down there, Twinkapalooza.
Yeah.
If, you know, he again is very careful. Like we know he puts a tissue on his screen when he's jerking it, and the webcam gossip that we've heard. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think he knows, and he's always erasing his history, which is questionable.
Well, yeah, I mean, the only reason I've ever done that is because I get fed up with some of the keywords being you know how the links get saved up top, and like, no, I don't want to go to that. So I want to go back. I'm looking for something new but similar. And it's like I was looking recently for Liverpool transfers because it's transfer window, and then I go Liverpool Klopp, Liverpool transfer news, Liverpool transfer completed. I'm like, get away, go away. Now, do I really have to go to Google search and use that? I usually just go to the toolbar and go nuts. So anyway, and my condolences to the Flyers, who recently got John Tortorella as coach. You mentioned that the fans are not happy. Why is that? Because they got rid of the other coach, even though that guy was fucking them up?
Well, there's a lot of problems with the Flyers organization, and I guess fans aren't happy because they think he might not be the right mentality to come in and work with a young crew of guys. And
yeah, these days, especially.
He was in a press conference this week. I caught some of it, and he said all the right things. He's a big fan of Philadelphia. He used to coach the New York Rangers, so he's very knowledgeable in our team and everything. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. It's a 4-year contract. My worry is that I want him to have a hand in the draft process, because our organization does not know how to draft, and they've failed multiple times and missed out on some really great names. Yeah. So I'm hoping that in his contract, he negotiated some kind of say in who we draft and what we get. He's got an impeccable record. He's got a Stanley Cup under his belt. He's coached 4 different organizations for like 6, 8, and 1 years. And he's done amazing things. He's got a great record. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed and hope for the best. But with that team, it's really tough. I mean, I had to tear myself away from a Phillies game to record with you right now. So they're on a roll. They're 13-2 as we're recording right now in their last 15. But they had to get rid of Girardi to make like a difference in the organization. And he just was too old and stodgy. And now they have this freedom with this new guy, Rob Thompson, who's just amazing. So go Phils. You're so fun now. You're actually hitting and putting up 8 to 10 runs a game. You're hitting the overs just by your runs alone. I love it. So
guys, we don't usually do sports talk, but I thought it would be cool because Raven is a sports fan totally, and then Bob and I love our hockey, and Carrie and I love our football, like European football and stuff. So it's not to prove that we're of the people, but like these things go on. They kind of help you through things as well. Like the Habs, Montreal came in last place or near last place in the recent season, so they have the number 1 draft pick for the first time since I was I can't even remember the last time. But the guy that they're thinking of getting, there's a couple that they're thinking of getting. But it's one of those things where they go, it's not a deep draft year, so maybe the first pick isn't the best, that kind of thing. Or trading it might be better, like giving it to someone else and then getting a better pick somewhere down the line. But anyway, God bless them. I hope the preseason doesn't look like a complete fucking shambles like it usually does. At any rate, guys, we're going to continue. Like I said, the reason why we decided to go right into the most recent week, which is between June 6th and June 14th, rather, is because, like I said, it was really brutal stuff especially with Beth. So we'll go with June 6th first.
Okay.
And that's the Booey getting shit on by Rappaport. So this is a long one, guys. Bear with us.
We get to everything we didn't get to, which is the following topics. How many of our staff now have COVID? Like all of them practically.
Oh.
That's number one. I told you about Ronnie had COVID, so we got done with that.
One person has already reported in positive.
I'll talk to you about life is returning to normal with all the Baba Booeys at golf tournaments. I'll play a bunch of those.
Okay.
Okay, so let's remember Jason went to a Fish concert with Jonathan Blitt, and we know Jason got COVID. We never heard about Blitt. Then Ronnie got it, and here we're going to hear about Booey, who went to Bottle Rock in Napa for a 3-day concert of 100,000 people. So you can imagine he was doing food tasting. He was shaking hands, hugging on all kinds of artists. I think Def Leppard he saw. And I noticed our buddy Pat Monahan was out there with Train, but he'll never get shit on for going to a place because he's working. Booey wasn't working, and that's part of the problem here. Although he says he was negotiating and, talking to PR people, but whatever. Bullshit.
Right. Bullshit. Well, the other thing is, the irony is, of course, like Ronnie's in Vegas, so do we really count him when he gets his COVID because that's there and New York is New York? But regardless, Howard's in his fucking mansion, so it doesn't matter if every other one of the staff gets COVID at this point. And guys, if those of you really want to know, I got 3 shots, the 2 whatever Moderna and the 3rd Moderna boost or whatever. I'm not ashamed to say it. We're not going to go into the politics of whether it was good or bad or do you think it helped. Doesn't matter. I still haven't got COVID that I know of, and I was very careful. Things over on this side of the world have gone to the point where they're not tracking as much. I mean, they're counting on the honor system. If you feel the symptoms, you're supposed to isolate yourself. When you go out into restaurants and stuff, obviously when you're eating, you take it off. But when you go in, you wear your mask. When you're indoors, you try to wear your mask. You have to. But the outdoor mandate is the same over here, I believe. Is it the same in the States?
No, it's much more loosey-goosey right now over here. It has been for a while.
Okay.
They mandated in the schools for the final weeks of school masks to be worn, because the numbers were up a bit, but they weren't up so much that they had to go to homeschool or online school. And there is no requirement of indoor masking or masking anywhere right now. Yeah. They don't check your vaccinations. People are just doing whatever. And the numbers, I haven't heard them in the past since school ended. I'd get reports every week due to the school district, but I haven't heard anything. And people don't seem to be bothered. It seems like life is back to normal as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I think what's basically they're deciding, everybody's deciding across the board. Look, it's been 2.5 years. We've got to the point where enough people are vaccinated that we believe it's going to, it's already reached the sort of point where we can handle what comes next, that kind of thing. And over here, it's much the same thing. Like I'm going to Greece this summer to see my mom and a lot of relatives, maybe more relatives than I have days for. And I don't have to do any quarantine when I get there, which is not why I'm going. It's just a lot easier than getting into Canada, which from what Bob tells me is a nightmare. In terms of not the COVID restrictions, but the airlines and they've laid off so many people, or they put people on furlough and they don't have replacements for the on-crush of what they call revenge spending. Everybody is now going after stuff. Doesn't matter if it costs 30-40% more than it did before. People are going to spend because they've been 2 years without. So people are going nuts traveling now, trying to get tickets. So, yeah.
Well, there is a lack of employees on airplanes. They've had to cancel a lot of flights.
Sure.
Either the employees are sick or just can't cover the number of flights that are needed. So just be warned when you travel, fingers crossed, guys, if you're going somewhere that, your flight makes it and isn't tied down with a bunch of delays and cancellations.
Big time. Yeah. And if there's one cancellation, you might be backed up with a bunch of other people, and it might be elbows and assholes in the airport. So you just watch out. Just watch out how you're going and travel safe is all we can say. Let's continue a little bit.
There was at least 3 of them that I counted. And then, we didn't even get to Baba Booey got COVID.
He did?
He got COVID because he goes everywhere. He went to.
You should now. The bell should also be for the incredulous Robin declarations. Like,
the hypocrisies of Robin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to concerts, takes off the mask, the whole thing.
He got it. He thinks he got it at the Pink concert. He was at the Pink concert.
No, it was Bottle Rock. Pink just happened to be playing there.
Oh. I didn't know you were a big Pink guy. I like Pink.
See, he was trying to get me to go out to Bottle Rock with him so he could infect me.
You were close to coming.
You were going to go?
I was thinking about it, but then I
come on.
Decided against
Howard,
it.
can I tell you why Robin didn't go? She had the best excuse. She was ready to go. She called me. She goes, I forgot. I have a friend coming from London. I completely forgot, so I have to stay home. Otherwise, she was coming.
Well, that's good to know that you realize a person crossing the ocean is on their way. And that's the big reason you drop out of a concert.
That's the only reason she didn't fly across the country.
Yeah.
It's because a friend was flying across the ocean.
Right.
With hundreds of people on a plane to come spread all that to her house.
Yeah,
nice.
Potentially. Yeah. Well, the what I was trying to lead into, and I keep getting sidetracked. Obviously, I got a wife that had suffered a stroke, then discovered she had 2 different cancers, got the cancers removed, did chemo, would never missed a fucking day of work. She's stronger than I can even say, guys. And she did all the restrictions. She got vaccinated, everything. She shits on construction workers. she you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a tough broad. And so I'm like, she was not afraid to do what was necessary in order to slow the spread or reduce the spread of, things would happen. So again, it depends where you live in the world, but they're at the point now where they expect people to still trust them to do the right thing where they are, but life does have to go on. You do have to go see movies. I saw Doctor Strange. That's the first film I saw in 2 years, but there weren't that many people in the theater. And when they weren't eating popcorn, they were masked up. Does it matter? Does it make a difference? Probably not, but numbers are not rising anyway. So bottom line is, guys, just be safe. Try to keep yourselves as safe as possible. But yeah, Wiggy can't seem to understand. He can't seem to grasp. It's now time for people to, especially if they're vaccinated. That's the thing that always bothered me about him. You are espousing everybody get the vaccine, but then you're not going with the flow now at this point where people are going, okay, we should be okay now that we're vaccinated. Not okay. In other words, you shouldn't be, running into crowds and like slam dancing in a stadium gig, but you should go out. Like go out and, bump hands if you have to, but go out and see people.
Yeah. There's a thing that he does where he's like, get vaccinated, stay at home. But obviously people have to go out. They have to get groceries. They have to,
of course,
go to, go back to work. Some people.
Yes.
Not like him, who gets to stay home.
Right.
And I'm going to tread lightly here, but like, he doesn't have any logic or common sense when it comes to science. He talks about people being vaccinated and getting sick.
Yes.
So which is it? Like, get vaccinated. Even if you are vaccinated, you could still get sick.
Yeah, that's never been, that's never not been true. He doesn't seem to acknowledge
that. Even though everybody's like, well, I'm vaxxed, but you can still get sick.
That's right.
So I don't know. He has a double standard, and it's always his way or the highway. We know that. Let's keep going. I don't want to talk about this.
No worries.
What?
Well, I was in the process of considering it, and then a friend called me from London and said, I'm going to be in town. I've had 5 jabs. I'm completely safe. Why don't I spend the Memorial weekend with you? And I said, okay, I'm going to let that happen. And everything was fine.
Well, that's the question. I have a question for you because you're working in pharmaceuticals, but I haven't kept in touch. I haven't kept in contact with the doctor that gave me the vaxes. He said if you're over 50 and that you have some kind of immunocompromised situation, it's advisable to get the 4th shot. But are there people out there with the 5th or that are recommended they get a 5th shot as well? Really?
I don't know what the European regulations are. That's the problem. They have different standards. They have different vaccines that they dish out than what's shipped to the States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of anybody getting a 5th shot or a 4th?
No, even my mother, who has like immuno issues, has 4. She has, she's gotten them as soon as she could just because of her conditions. Yeah. And God bless, she's doing great. So.
That's just the idea that someone got a 5th one is a little strange to me, actually, because I still haven't heard. That's definitely not commonplace as far as I know. So let's continue.
I didn't know. She doesn't tell me about this.
Well, you don't. Well, when I call, you don't answer. Yeah. You don't return your call.
Right.
You can get 5 shots now.
So now it's not it's not just he doesn't answer. No one answers him when he calls.
No, she doesn't want to talk to him because she doesn't want to be grilled on. Like, she probably has her friend over who she's entertaining. Why would she want to talk to him? Because then he'll hear voices in the background and be like, "That's not Captain Dennis. Who the fuck is that?"
Exactly.
Oh boy.
And then what does it matter? Well, you're going to catch the fucking virus via Zoom, asshole? Fuck off.
If she's in England, I guess they've got 5.
Wow.
Gary went to the Sirius XM Def Leppard concert out in California. He was at Bottle Rock. He's living it up. So he got
at least Bottle Rock was outside. Why do you think you got it there?
Yeah.
I don't think I got it there. I don't know where I got it. I could have gotten it in the airport. I could have gotten it anywhere.
How bad was it?
It was.
I think it was Gordon. It was Isaac. We'll say Isaac for now. Who got to see Rick Allen at one of his exhibits, the Def Leppard drummer, because he's a painter. He's a bit of an artist, and he asked me any questions I should ask him if I get a chance to talk to him. And I said, "Yeah, ask him about a backstage pass during the Hysteria days." It was pink, and it had I think it had just the look up picture of an eye. It had 2 sailors and a bird, and I go, "What's the code?" And I looked it up. It's supposed to mean I swallow semen.
Nice.
And it was given out to women that they wanted to put backstage, and I just said something that obscure might make him laugh, and so he said, yeah, he did laugh, and he said it was one of the backstage crew that decided to come up with that little trolling, poontang trolling, paraphernalia. At any rate, let's keep going.
Medium bad, but I got the Paxlovid. That shit was a game changer.
Right.
It was. It really, I was feeling pretty shitty, and I called my doctor, and my son went and picked it up, and I took it, and after the 2nd or 3rd day of taking it, I was pretty good. Otherwise, I think I could have ended up like Ronnie.
Anyway, we'll get to all of this tomorrow.
Take note that he didn't spend much time on Robin. He was not prepared for that. That information had not come out. He was all ready to lay into Booey. And then it turns out this clip ends very abruptly. It was the very end of the show on Monday, June 6th. So they cut it off for some reason when I went back on the replay to cut it up. But they skipped right past Robin and right on to Booey with, the medication he took.
Oh, we got so much.
Yeah, they can't wear that mask, Howard. They got to take it off.
Yeah.
Did you get on the plane with a mask?
Of course. But I'm the only one. I'm telling you. Mary and I are the only ones. Nobody.
I hear what's
no one in the
going on
airport's wearing a mask. Nobody on the plane's wearing a mask. We wore masks in cars. So But yes, when we were outside.
So I guess it's.
So get ready for her to be all high and mighty here in these next couple days that we clipped, at least Tuesday and Wednesday, and next Monday.
Yep.
So, yeah, she's all haughty and pontificating to him, but we'll find out later. Just keep in mind that she gets caught. Can I just say it right now? Going to a wedding with hundreds of people, indoors and outdoors.
It was an indoor reception, but the wedding was outdoors. But so, is it better or worse than when she was hawking her cookbook and 300 pounds with a wig on?
Well, then there's the vegetation where she's eating hamburgers on the side and not telling anybody.
Exactly.
It's all the same to me. It's, she does whatever the fuck she wants, but she says otherwise.
Yeah, totally. So the next word is, unfortunately, guys, Rappaport piles on.
And here you go.
Baba Boofy, you dummy. You flew across the country to stuff your face with shrimp, and you come back with a disease? Not a guest, Not a celebrity, not a rock star, but just more phlegm in your throat. I'm surprised you didn't come back with monkeypox, you fucking gorilla. Where's Bruce Springsteen? You come back with phlegm in your throat and a disease. We don't have Bruce Springsteen. But you go on vacation, yapping away like a yenta? What an embarrassment.
Okay, I think I can. I don't think I need to play much more of that particular one. I think you got the gist, right?
Pretty much, yeah. For once, I actually agree with Rappaport, and I'm glad that he was on because who doesn't love Booey getting shit? You know,
yeah.
He makes bad decisions and has no accountability for anything he does at work. We don't really know what he's doing anymore.
No,
because,
God, no.
I mean, all the guests are pretty much contracted by Sirius, so it's not a get for him. He's not like schmoozing people. They're just handed to him on a silver plate.
Yeah, and the whole concert thing is like, even at this point in time, I find it a little odd. If you really didn't want to get COVID, you would try to avoid these large gatherings at the very least. Or if you were going to a wedding, I don't know. I mean, I'm different, I suppose, but because I've met friends, yes, I have, and I suppose it's just as it's likely to get it with people in a group of 6 or 7 that you're just talking to and glad handing or whatever than it is about a field of 50,000 people watching a concert. But I still think like you went to a ball game, like you went to see a Phillies game recently, and what was the capacity like? Was it full? Was it 100%?
It wasn't full, but it was 36,000 people.
Out of what's the capacity of the stadium?
Oh, good question. I want to say 38.
Wow, so just
40?
about. So you're looking at over 90%.
Yeah, like the top level had some empty seats, but the first and second levels were filled.
Wow. See, so I mean, anyway, basically, the whole premise is people are getting the vaccines so that they don't die. Essentially, if they get COVID, if the chances are that they are one of the ones who might get, for whatever reason, the COVID, the way they might suffer worse symptoms of COVID. The vaccines are not meant to be cure-alls. They never were. They were always supposed to be like, now let's make it so that this is a really annoying couple days for you, or even a week. But you suffered long COVID from when you did get it. But at that point, there were no vaccines, were there?
No, I got it before anything was available in December of 2020.
That's right.
So I had long-term effects, but then they went away. Like 5-6 months later, I had intestinal issues, but that disappeared after a month. So
yeah. So anyway, the next one is called "Get Your Ass Back in the Studio While Wig Works from His Mansion's Wine Cellar and Bowling Alley Basement." I love the mention of the bowling alley.
Why are you still working from home, Gary? I mean, you're obviously going to concerts. You go everywhere.
He goes everywhere but to the office.
Yeah, he goes everywhere but work. Have you? How many times? How many days out of the week do you go to the office?
I've been in a couple of times in the last 2 months, but I can go in.
Yeah, go in every day. I mean, this guy, he's sitting at home because of COVID. Now, I understand, Robin, you're sitting at home because of COVID. I know I am. I'm being careful. This guy, he runs around for every fucking occasion.
He can go out for everything but work.
But work.
Okay. At least, okay. I was expecting that. Go ahead.
Robin did not say a word when Howard's like, he's going out to different places. She had already gone out somewhere. Did not mention it. Sat quiet.
I can go to work.
All right. So why aren't you? I don't understand.
Because I go in when there's a guest, but I don't know that there's a huge deal for me. In other words, me being in during the day doesn't make that much of a difference. The other people on my team
maybe not to you, but to me
office.
It does. I like you in the office.
Sure.
Yeah.
I like you.
I remember that part. I like you in the office.
Right.
I prefer this. You know what? This is a complete callback to way back when. Do you remember the whatever it was, Monday or something? They got back and he got pissed off because Friday they all went to L.A. KC, him, Stuttering John, and he gave him shit because they weren't there the rest of the day. Well, the show was over, I'm presuming, and I know that they probably slacked some bullshit, and Booey was like, I'll do this on Monday type of thing, when it maybe should be better done on Friday. That's why I don't totally give Howard bullshit for that. But it was one of those things like, how dare you enjoy yourselves on any weekend? Why are you not at work every fucking time? And he said that many times. How do you have time to watch this?
Absolutely. And the thing about Booey has said he's only been into the office a couple times, and that's because they've only had a couple guests.
Yep.
Like 16 this whole year. Mm-hmm. So I don't know that they could go back in until like springtime, March, maybe.
Right.
So since March, he's been in a handful of times. Mm-hmm. And now Wiggy wants him there like 8 hours a day doing Lord knows what. But he just doesn't want him comfortable at home.
That's exactly right.
But it's okay for him and Robin to be comfortable at home. And I guess the rest of the staff, because he's not telling any of them they got to be there, just Booey.
No. And is the premise, okay, if Jason is seen at, Blues Fest, and if he goes to some whatever smorgasbord or some fucking pulled pork, or fish or pulled pork, I don't know, pulled pork
meat
convention.
Fest.
Yeah, exactly. Where you just go naked and swim in a bunch of pulled pork. Exactly. Like he'll get shit, presumably. No, I doubt it.
Only if it stops them from working.
Yeah.
If they are not able to show up on Zoom, I think then they would get shit.
Yeah.
But we know Will had it way back in the beginning. His whole family got it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure I think Sal might have had it. I can't remember now.
I don't recall if Sal had it, but we know that, of course, Mary Delabate's father died of it.
Right.
And so, that was pre-vaccine, of course. But,
He also just said at the beginning of one of these clips, almost our whole staff has COVID, but we're not hearing about anybody else yet. Maybe that'll come out, later
after
on.
The fact, like Wilding, for example, because Ralph later on in one of the clips, I think I got for the 14th, like said, where were you? Why didn't you go? Why are you going to see Wilding? He mentioned something like, Chris is not doing well. And what does that mean? I mean, it's, again, this fucking show that never is transparent except after the fact.
Well, remember when Chris went to South America on a plane to see the boyfriend?
Yeah.
Wiggy had no problems with him doing that and being triple masked just so he could get audio or stories of him and his boyfriend doing all kinds of crazy stuff down there and just disgusting things with scat. Right.
Yeah.
So, I think Ralph was referencing Chris is in a bad place in his head about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that maybe he's got COVID. I don't know. But apparently Ralph and Chris hang out.
Yeah.
They go out like once a week. So all that comes up. It's just a bunch of hypocrisy. Yep. Wherever he wants to point the finger at, then they're going to be in the hot seat and get it.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask you how you feel about this going back to the office thing, because I've been talking to different people, and I do know there is a sentiment out there that some people say, if my office requires me to be in full time, I'm quitting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just busting Gary's balls. I don't care where he does his work from, as long as he gets his work done. But
well, then shut the fuck up. Like, just honestly, no one cares about your bullshit. And Booey bashing was more fun when it was a situation where you trapped him into something like Reese's or McKine, or when he stepped in shit, really stepped in shit, not something this. I'm sorry, at this point it's trivial.
One of my favorites is when he double booked Jenny McCarthy and Jewel on the same day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And had to send Jenny McCarthy home.
Yeah, or when he was sleeping.
Wow, that's number one on the list.
Yeah. So next one is called Wig lies to Dr. Anus that he wants he wants back in society. Yeah, right.
I have, like I said, I go in when there's a guest on.
Yeah, I was talking to my buddy Dr. Agus last night. I called him
my buddy, my friend. It's not friend anymore. But okay, so he has a direct line to Dr. Anus. But here's the clip, guys.
How the fuck do I get back into life? I said I've managed to avoid COVID, and he was giving me some tips.
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure it out.
Tip number 1: leave the house. Open the door.
Tip number 2, get in your fucking limo and go to work. Or is Jennifer Witz keeping you from work? Has she sold off half your real estate and given it away to other people and staff at Sirius? Are you contracted to stay home? Dame Bethman really thinks that he has been kicked out of Sirius permanently.
I agree. And I didn't read any of it, but it makes perfect sense because like there might be some communal space that they've left for the Stern show, like just for the sake of the workers, because obviously, but they don't have guests in anymore now that since going to Zoom, they almost really don't need. I mean, look, they did the Chili Peppers interview, which we covered. You guys will have heard by the time this is out. The Chili Peppers thing came out and they were completely virtual.
Right. So they were in the LA studio. So now they're using the LA studio almost as much as the New York studio. And they only have that for like a couch for guests. I don't think anybody's performing in the New York studio, at least not that I know of yet.
Right.
Post Malone, he was in California.
So
MGK, he was in California too.
That's right. So they don't need the veal cages anymore. They don't need JD to be in that cubicle to do his job when he can do it at home. So why not either sell that space or give it to someone who's actually going to fucking use it? And I'm certain they basically, whatever budget came up, they decided, okay, this studio space is going to so-and-so because they're going to fucking use it. And and they might have given Stern the option and said, look, if you want this, you got to come back. And he said, no, I'm not coming back. And then they said, okay, fine, we're taking the option away. And it's gone. Mm-hmm. So I think that's 100% the case.
I really hope they give it to Andy Cohen.
Oh, it would be perfect.
That would be fantastic because I think deep down Wiggy hates his guts. He hates that he's gay and free and he has a huge fan base and he's relevant and he gets big stars on his show.
He also hates equally Ryan Seacrest for being closeted and also being successful. You know, like it swings both ways, pardon the expression, but he, whether they're out and proud or closeted and proud and successful, but successful is the key. And Andy for sure, because he probably knows, and this is like what we said about the Pink Mafia and the last time we recorded, he might know stuff about Jamie Foxx back in the day. He might know stuff about Andy Cohen now, but he can't say it because how do you know that? You know what I mean?
Yes. And I thought of another person that could use that studio, Conan O'Brien. Sure. Because he just cut $100 million deal with his whole group of people that record podcasts with him, have their own shows, and produce tons of material. So they're going to need space for Conan. So welcome, Conan. Enjoy your new space.
Is he based out of New York now?
That's a good question. Hard to say. Haven't read enough to know that yet.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look that one up. You're right. That's another one.
I mean, it's crazy.
What are the tips?
Have friends. Well, I mean, I don't want to say what he said. I like him rather to say it himself because I'm not a doctor and I'll screw it up. But I was complaining to him. I said, I see some of my friends on social media who are having like indoor parties, 15, 20, 25 people all hanging out, no masks. And they're, basically they're living life as though there is no pandemic and COVID is out there. So I don't know. So I said, it's got to be some reasonable way for me to get back into life and see friends and stuff. Over vacation, I had my kids with me and we all did the tests. We did rapid tests. We did a little PCR action. We did, whatever we could do to make sure we were all safe.
Were you testing every day or you just just to get in?
No, just to get in the room. And, because we're being careful, but
so they have to take a test just to get into the room. I don't know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut that off. That's such a great, I don't know.
Yeah.
Such a sad sack. You're not sad, fucker. You're thrilled. You're loving this.
Oh, yeah.
But he mentions he saw his daughters, but not his granddaughter.
That's right.
And they had to take tests just to see him. I bet that was hourly or, like for every meal they were going to meet up.
Yeah, I'd say it was multiple, but multiple, especially if they left and came back, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like if they got there, left to go do something, came back, they had to test again every single time.
Can you imagine if he quarantined them for 7 days in a room until they could see him?
God, you're going to see lipstick, red drum everywhere down that fucking end of the, over the quarantine wing. The quarantine wing of the, 16 whatever squabble lane airport. So let's go with the next one. Wig wants to star fucking LA, but not have to return to studio in New York. And Raven clipped all these, by the way, guys.
I don't know. I don't know how to get back into it. So
I
he gave me some tips.
It's so defeated. It's a great clip. I gotta remind me to isolate that after the fact. Write it down somewhere where we go, I don't know. Just no energy whatsoever. Completely deflated. That's when your spare tire doesn't just go like slowly lose air. It just goes boom. It's gone. You're using the donut now. Okay.
He gave me some tips for what I could do. And then I said, be nice to be able to maybe go out to LA and do a show. It'd be nice to go into Manhattan and do some shows. So we're trying to figure it out. It's difficult.
Well, I know that I was talking to somebody.
He was doing nothing before COVID. He wasn't meeting people really. If he did go out to LA, as he likes to call it, there wasn't much there. But like once it did happen, I mean, who did he end up seeing? Was it Jimmy Kimmel and his wife came over one time?
You mean to the Hamptons place?
To visit him, yeah.
Yeah. They
came. That was it.
Mary McCormick canceled, and the daughters. I think that's about it. That's come
Allie
by.
Wentworth, or no?
Not that he's mentioned.
Okay. Interesting.
She's so far up Beth's ass that it's possible. I don't know.
The next one is Dumbo. Is in Dumbo Marx. I've decided we're going to rename all the Marx brothers at one point and give them wiggy names. Dumbo and his parrot pile on Booey Part 1.
Yeah, I don't know. I just saw Gary's going everywhere, but I know he works from home. So I was wondering what his personal line is. I guess when it comes to work, he's...
Oh, by the way, this is the 7th, guys, not the 6th. So we're going from day to day.
More comfortable at home, but when it comes to entertainment, he's very comfortable going to concerts and stuff.
Well, he'd rather not catch COVID at work, is what he's shown us.
Right.
If he's going to catch it, he's going to be catching it, having a good time.
Here's the policy, Data.
Yep. Hypocrisy bell. Thank you.
Projection alert.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Don't require tests or masks. It's serious. So I don't know.
They don't require masks anymore?
No. They don't require masks. It's weird.
Oh.
I mean, I guess so. Everyone's just saying, well, it's here and we're going to get it and we'll get over it. Hey, Mike, what's up?
Okay, next clip. That's it. Next clip is called Booey Bumbles Bruce.
Gorilla. Work. It's called work. You flew all over the country to stuff.
Yeah, I flew all over the country on vacation. I was off.
Where's Bruce Springsteen? Where's Bruce Springsteen?
All right, Mike. All right, Mike. Thank you. Mike's getting very upset.
I say with all
Howard.
Right.
Why can't
Howard,
we
I
get
say
Bruce Springsteen on the show?
Well,
Michael, can I say this?
Can I answer this seriously? You know,
yes.
Gary has reached out to Bruce Springsteen, but Bruce, for various reasons.
Okay, hold on. He's not going to want to bring up the fact that he and Artie, for example, goofed on his stage raps, and back in the day, and he's since like, I don't know what the fuck, I don't get it. For years, he shit on Bruce Springsteen. Years. And Artie and Gary were unabashed Bruce sycophants, and they did whatever they could, and they both met him separately. Artie had great stories about meeting him and wherever it was and backstage, and Bruce coming up to give him a hug and stuff, which can you imagine for a guy like Artie, grew up idol, that's one of your idols, and he calls you up?
He called him to help him with his addictions.
Yes.
To tell him, like, dude, you gotta knock this shit off.
Right.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, Nils Lofgren, who plays with the band, said, and Little Steven probably both, because they all love Artie. He's a Jersey guy, and they know that, and they just basically probably said, look, Bruce, can you give him a call? And the fact that he did it, God bless him. I mean, Artie's not a celebrity. He's not in the way that he is, so you don't expect that typically from, I don't see too many AAA list people doing that for just anybody, even, especially addicts.
Right. And Artie's good friends with, is it Pastore, Vinny Pastore?
Vincent Pastore, yeah.
Pastore, okay. So, yeah, I'm sure that crew had a hand in, like, thinking if Bruce called him, that would help get him off the junk.
Mm-hmm.
I included this. No. I definitely wanted to include this clip, though, because a lot of people have been asking, is Bruce going to be on? because there was, it was hinted at on one show somehow where Robin might have mentioned Bruce or maybe on a wrap-up show. I'm not sure, but I know it's been floating out there in the ethers. And I just wanted to let people know, like, they're trying their ass off to get him because he's the next big get for him. He got Jagger. And this seems, he's not going to get Oprah. He'd love to get her. So Bruce seems like the next legit big guest that he hasn't had yet, the white whale for him. But it seems like Bruce, for various reasons, doesn't want to do the show. And Booey's like, I'm not giving up. I'm still trying.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he's doing, but
yeah,
doesn't want to do the show.
We don't. Hold on. We don't know that. We're working on it. Jesus, you guys are fucking relentless.
Listen, Howard,
I reached out to him yesterday, Howard, just so you know.
Howard, if you want him in
it's an ongoing discussion.
If you want him in the office,
if Michael's just going to talk, then there's no point.
Put a bed in there.
Mike, thank you, Mike.
He's just such an asshole.
He's an asshole. Well, and listen, in this particular case, I sympathize with Booey, and I'll tell you why. Bruce knows what the fucking show is. He doesn't need to go on and fucking do it. And he'll, if they need to, they'll contact Booey if Booey needs anything, and Booey can get in touch with them. That's telling them all they need to know. He just doesn't want to do the fucking show. And Bruce isn't a particularly good interview anyway.
No, but I'm willing to guess Booey is negotiating down the time.
Yeah.
And the content, what is allowed to be talked about, and maybe waiting for an album to come out or some sort of a box set, a channel. Yeah, it's definitely, if they do get him, it's going to be because he's on Sirius for some reason. And
it won't be because, the draw of going to Howard was too much.
Unless he's got like a no wiggy exemption in his contract with Sirius. I would. Think about it, Bruce.
We're now going into June 8th. This is called Bashing Booey Part 1. And I know repetitive, guys. We weren't too creative with the names here, but it wasn't meant to be. We're just trying to get through the fucking clips.
Whether Gary should return to the office because he's been vacationing and going everywhere, Robin. He's not taking any precautions. He goes to concerts.
COVID everywhere.
He caught COVID. And I said to him, well, if you're busy running around on vacation everywhere, why can't you come into the office? You got to hear this. I know this is going to set off Michael Rappaport. So Gary's job for us is to go into the office when we have a guest. And Michael,
for what purpose? When the guest is not even necessarily at the studio. If it's an LA guest, they're in Hollywood, they're on the West Coast. If they're in New York, what does Gary do? Shake their hand and maybe risk more fucking COVID? What's the logic of him going into the fucking office?
How hard is it to hand somebody a pair of headsets and, explain to them they're going to be staring at a TV screen?
Yeah.
Like
robo host, like you asked me to Photoshop.
Is he going to get them bagels and coffee? I don't know. Is breakfast still being served? Yeah.
Too expensive. $60 for 4 bagels. $15 bagel. I want a hand job with that. Sorry.
Nice.
Honestly.
Che, of course, is coming on today, who I'm excited about. And Gary's supposed to be there to oversee, make sure things go well. He can't go in because on his vacation, he caught COVID.
Oh, you're so now he can't even do the job.
That's right. So now we got somebody else scrambling to deal with Michael Che because the protocol at Sirius XM is once you've had COVID, you got to wait at least 10 days before you come back into the office.
Right.
From the end of symptoms. So
and he kept vacation, boss, vacation.
Vacation, boss. We went to what's that concert you went to? We went to.
How was that wedding? Was that a vacation socializing? A vacation from your jail cell that Wiggy's put you in for 2 years and 3 months? I bet it is.
Only, bro.
Battle Rock.
Oh, but went to Battle Rock. Then we went to the show. Sirius XM. Who did they have?
Oh, God. Who did it?
Yeah, I mean, we went to 57.
He was so busy, we can't even keep up with him.
You wouldn't believe Pink at Battle Rock, Bo. Pink was flying around on the trapeze. And and what?
Oh my God, going to see Pink. Jesus, that's the motivation for leaving. I think I might stay home as well. Let's continue. Booey bashing part 2.
Like, Gary cannot entertain himself. He needs entertainment more than anyone I know.
I was I'm constantly listening to these reports about, people reopening from the pandemic and so forth. And all of the commentators scream that people now want experiences. They're hungry for experience. They are talking about
That's
Gary.
right.
That's our girl. Listen to her go. She just loves riding up his ass on this whole thing. And she knows very well what she did, but she never mentions it until Wiggy asks her to be on his side against Beth going to lunch.
Yep.
The only time she mentioned it was because she didn't want to get on Beth's ass, which makes no sense to me. She might as well, if you're going to gang up on Booey, gang up on Beth too.
Gang up on everybody.
Unless Beth knows she went to the wedding and knew she was going to out her for some reason. Like if they're on some Facebook page together and Robin's posting shit.
Yeah, it's a tangled web they weave. The next one, number 3.
I mean, there was 100,000 people attended the Bottle Rock Festival over the course of 3 days. Of course you're going to get COVID, but he's got to have experiences. And then comes home. He experienced everything but the office. He experienced everything but work.
And, you're supposed to get sick on vacation because you work. Not get sick on vacation and come back and not be able to work.
Yeah, he was healthy as a horse during his vacation.
I have the teeth like a horse.
God, she just loves to dig in whenever it's someone like this is part of the reason why people fucking hate Robin in a lot of ways more than Howard, because she's just parroting, she's just piling on. She could do what Artie used to do, which was keep silent when someone was being berated. Like when Stuttering John came in that last day, before he went to the Tonight Show, Artie you wouldn't even know Artie was in fucking studio. That's how quiet he was. When he was saying goodbye to Scott Einziger and giving him that awful fucking farewell, Artie, again, nothing, zilch, because he knows they're being dicks. They're just being cunts. And he doesn't want to, he doesn't have to share in that.
This was the reason that I wanted to put, not just me, but people in the morning thread were like, this needs to come out the way he's being. And especially with Beth and Booey and Robin and everything that we found out, because it was like a week ago, Robin couldn't stop bashing Booey. And if she's staying home, then I guess she has a right to do that. But she didn't stay home. And she's inviting people in on top of it.
Yes.
From a foreign country after being on a plane with hundreds of people. That's the equivalent of going to a concert with 100,000 people, in my opinion. You're bringing germs from a whole country into your house.
The British COVID makes you crave tea at 4:00. Exactly. So here we go with number 4.
Right. But you should have seen during the pandemic, I can't go into work, boss. I do not want to get COVID at my age. Such bullshit. Siree. No siree, boss.
I just had my knee replaced. I don't need COVID.
Right. I got to be careful.
He's been racking up the concert since, I don't know, the beginning of this year. I mean, I don't know how many he's been to, and every one of them he's been maskless.
And you know what's great, boss?
Yeah, Robin, you didn't wear a mask the whole time at the wedding either. And when your friend came over, I doubt you wore a mask the whole time then too. Also, I'm going to say that Booey is 60. And these 3-day festivals, aren't they for younger folks? I mean, I know people that age go to concerts. Most times, like I know Dino brought his daughter to The Who.
The Who, yeah.
And that's great. Passing on to a new generation. I totally get that.
That makes sense.
But if you're 60 and you're Booey and you've seen tons of concerts already.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, maybe he was out in California because a lady friend of his might be out there at the concert too, or in his hotel. Just a thought.
Yeah. Well, the thing is also like when they used to say this all the time, he needs to be entertained. Like he was in Vegas and he was bored because he doesn't gamble, he doesn't cheat, he doesn't screw around on his wife supposedly, and he couldn't just Yeah, this was Nick DiPaolo was, I think, he was in studio when they were talking about this, that they were in Vegas and he got bored, and Artie's like, well, unless you do one or the other, unless you fuck around, and unless you do gambling, or unless you drink, or unless you want to, like, if I was in Vegas, the gambling to me would be, I don't know, a distant second, because I would love to go see shows. I would love to go see, when he was alive, Don Rickles, Wayne Newton, whoever the fuck, like, not necessarily Britney, whatever engagement. Right. But I would go to see the shows, because I mean, that's Vegas. That was so much a part of Vegas, bringing people to the desert. And the fact that he's like, I got to have something in my room to keep me occupied, get out, just go out. There's, what one of the coolest things of Vegas is? The neon junkyard, all the old signs from the old casinos that are now being displayed at this like cemetery for old neon. I would find it fascinating. The old Dunes Hotel sign is out there. I would love that shit, because I love urban decay. And anyway, that's just me. I guess I'm odd, but
yeah, I don't like traveling anymore. I used to when I was younger.
Yeah.
There's, nothing really in Vegas for me, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would take rent a car and take like a road trip out in the desert and take some pictures or something.
Yeah.
I'm not a people person like I used to be. So crowds and tourists are not my bag. Trust me. I want a quiet spot on the beach. I'm good there, but I don't need crying babies. I don't need, photos and people asking me to take the pictures and drunks hanging out and losers losing all their money. I'm just not. No.
So are you pro beach, by the way? Because Sam and I just had a beach rant on one of our shows.
Yes, I'm pro beach, but not pro getting in the water on the beach.
Okay. So
I will sun and read. I will walk. I'll pick up shells, rocks.
Right.
But I am, and we're talking about like, I'm not going on the east, like Jersey beach.
Yeah.
I'm talking Florida beaches. That's my beach.
Right. Okay, fair enough. I don't know if I've given you the clip to hear, so I'll let you hear the clips, because there will be a while before they ever get released on Patreon. But either way, Sam and I just go to town on beach life and how we fucking hate it. But I left it in because I thought it might be funny. Number 5, guys.
Poor Michael Che. Do you need me to come into the office? I'm available. When is Michael Che coming on? I could take a cab over.
Well, fortunately, you don't have to come in. And thank you for volunteering to take care of Michael Che. We got someone else to do Gary's job today. We got a young up-and-comer who's going to take care of Michael Che.
So today we're paying Gary and someone else to do Gary's job.
That's right. That's right.
Sorry, guys, I was confusing Jeremy Che, the painter, with Michael Che. So it's just Che. Was it Che you, Che me? Sorry, guys. I'm all Che'd out.
Where is Gary today? Is he drinking scotch? Is he putting together
I don't know.
puzzles?
He's MIA. I haven't seen him. We're talking about him, but he
won't even show his face.
No.
Can I ask you a personal question? I don't mean to get into the details, but does he get paid for today?
He's getting paid. Gary, you're getting paid today, right?
Yeah, I'm still working. I'm just not doing that aspect of the job. But yes, I am still working. I am still here.
Well, in all your fairness to you, you had concerts to go to and you enjoyed your vacation. And now you're sick while work is happening and you can't go into the office.
Yeah, okay. Well, fuck you.
Well, yeah, he's working from home, which he's been doing for 2 years and 3 months.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like, I'm not sure. Other than passing notes to other staffers who are doing the actual writing and editing of bits.
Right. And going after people and networking and doing all that stuff. Just a quick question for all you guys listening to this one. Let's have a yay or nay. Do we hate Rappaport? What do you feel about this fucker? I can't stand him. I couldn't stand him in movies. I can't stand him on the air. I just get so fucking annoyed with him, and I hate the fact that they shoehorn him in. They shoehorn him in anytime they have to bash Booey or anytime they have to go after somebody that they don't like. He's now like the king of all Bronx or something. I don't know.
See, I know they use him as a puppet all the time on this show.
Totally.
I think he's got some talent as far as acting, and I know he makes parody songs or raps that are used on the show. I'm not as offended by Rappaport as you are. I kind of like his trash talking.
Oh,
I'm not a huge fan, but he doesn't, I can tolerate him. That's probably the best review I can give of Rappaport. I know he's polarizing. A lot of people hate him.
Oh, that fucking voice of his just cuts right through me.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me, but I get it. I understand why.
Okay. Well, I feel the same way about him as I feel about Rosie O'Donnell. When I listen to her voice, it's just like nails. It's like ice picked through my fucking heart. The next one, Booey goes after Rappaport.
Can I ask Michael a quick question?
Sure, go ahead.
Michael, did you miss a week of shows filling in for Wendy Williams because you got COVID?
No, not a week, a couple of days. But that was deep when it was like a real thing, and I didn't travel.
It's still a real. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Excuse me.
You went out. You went out when you were supposed to work. You got COVID.
I did not travel across the country. I did not travel across the country to a food festival. I did not.
You still do it? Hey, Mike, you still doing your comedy gigs, your stand-up gigs? I see the.
I wasn't doing.
I see promoting that you're doing.
I did not travel.
Hold on, I'm asking, have you done a comedy gig in the last 6 months? Have you done a stand-up gig in the last 6 months?
Yes.
So you're fucked, idiot. And I'm with Booey on this. If you decide to make the trip out, you're going out, then you're putting yourself at risk. Yes, you are. And if you go to a concert, you're putting yourself at risk. To me, risk is risk.
Well, Rappaport is working. He's doing stand-up. So he's trying to earn money. I get it. You put yourself out there at risk. And he was doing the Wendy Williams show, which is now, rest in peace, canceled.
Yeah.
So I forget who's going to take the place of that. But there's always somebody.
I expect there's going to be a lot of schadenfreude about that on the air soon, or maybe not. Maybe he won't mention it at all, because that was one rant that he wants scrubbed from the internet for sure.
Possibly. We'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fine. Michael's out there.
What? That sounds Wendy like Williams. Gary. He was working. He was contracted.
I was working.
He's got another job for Wendy Williams, and he fucked that up by going out and doing a comedy club.
I think the Wendy Williams might have been included in, after.
Robin, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Michael. I'm talking to Michael.
Gary. Well, now she.
Well, I'm trying to teach you how work goes.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! You fucking
cunt.
What a cunt!
I can hate her.
Didn't she also give Richard shit for not coming in during Hurricane Sandy, and she was at home, and he called her out on that, and she goes, I was a sick asshole, and that was that infamous
that's classic.
Fuck.
Michael, hold on.
Yeah,
hold on. Here's the real question, Michael. Have you attended any comedy shows, concerts, or parties in the last 6 months?
No. First of all,
you swear on the life of your kids.
Swear on the life of my kids. I don't do those things. I'm 52. How many more parties and food festivals? I don't go to food festivals. Let the children do that.
That's a good point.
I don't believe him.
Michael did go to comedy clubs, though. He's lying. Either it was for work or, to socialize or to get work. He'll call that working. He won't say it's entertainment. But he's hanging out at comedy clubs. What the fuck?
Of course.
He's got to schmooze to get jobs.
That's correct.
I think he's been out to friends' homes. I think he's been out to you don't go to events?
I'll tell you, I would be.
Yeah, Booey's right on that. Like, regardless, fuck him. This one is simply called Blobbin, a cunt.
To get into the city today.
Gary getting into an argument about catching COVID on vacation and not being able to work with a guy who's working and caught COVID while he was working.
I'm not the only guy who went to a concert and caught COVID.
You know who else watches?
Okay, so that was the end of that. There's only an 18-second clip. But we're now going into the 13th, guys. Only a couple clips. This one, this is one that Robin. Sorry, Robin, I'm calling you Robin. What an insult. My bad. Raven called it Wiggy and the Hand Jive.
Michael Che was amazing. It was like listening to two friends just have a chat. I have a crush on him. I'm not a celebrity, just saying. Robin has a crush on him, too. She loved him.
Me, too.
Ralph, too.
Now I'm competing with Ralph.
Ralph can give a good hand job. Trust me, I know.
I bet he's better than me. Yeah.
He used to rub one out for me whenever I was stressed. And really great interview today.
Your thoughts, please. I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay, that is very telling. We all know it's what we've been thinking, but I clipped that so you could put it in an intro.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, come on. One more. Who jokes like what heterosexual man jokes like this?
I think if it happened less, you wouldn't think anything of it. But he does it so often. There's like almost no time where between examples of him using this gay shit, like just as a case of like, oh, Fred blew me last night,
right.
It's always a guy, not Robin blew me last night, or back in the day, Anne Marie gave me a hand job last night, or Tony, when she was doing my hair, she gave me a reach around or whatever the fuck. So it's always homosexualized, and it's like, dude, just please come the fuck out. No one cares.
Okay, maybe it's just some weird degenerate fantasy of his, like just mixing, men, women, whatever. Like it's always about him, and he's the center of attention. He's getting the hand job. He's not giving them. He's getting them.
He loves to fly. Sorry.
No, it's the MPD angle. Where it's wig centro.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's always loves flying so close to the sun with this shit, and this is no different. When he does the hair stuff, which, by the way, I've got it figured out sometime in the end of summer. Spencer Coburn has agreed to do a show with us about hair, specifically his experience with it's something that he talked about on his own show, The Bald Truth, and we're going to have a hair related episode at the end of maybe the beginning of fall. And incidentally, guys, the Hurricane Sandy stuff will get started fairly soon. But what I realized, because I wanted to make it as video oriented as possible, because it's really key to have that video there. Mm-hmm. But there are some stuff that they didn't put in Howard TV that's necessary that I got to add in, and then I got to add it to the clip and make sure that it's one, like it's we get everything we need. So I have to go through my audio files and then put them together with the video. And once we get started, it'll be smooth. Well, not smooth, but it will be sailing. So
I love how comprehensive you are with these. This is amazing.
Have to be. I mean, you and James did a kick-ass episode of the Rainbow Room, which is again, we're backing up our stuff, guys, so that because I'm going to be away for a while. But they did such a good job. And I said, do you have the video? They go, oh no, we didn't. And I'm like, fuck. Oh, I was toying with just intercutting the video over the audio, but it would have been fine. It would have been way too much work. So I said, next time, just ask, because the audio is great. The audio is fantastic. But with the video, you get that extra element of cringe and Fred looking like a complete psychopath, like when he gets angry. So that's totally necessary. But either way, number 2 for that day. Mayday, Mayday. Wiggy is not pro Amber.
Oranges, Ralph.
Number 1, first of all, I want my name taken off the list of people who support Amber Heard.
Is this also this? We have to add a little context. Obviously, people know what he's talking about. We do too. But he previously had gone on about how Johnny Depp, he did a rant, which we're going to cover in the Johnny Depp stuff, about how he's a narcissist and blah, blah, blah. But he basically, in that rant, he was pretty much pro Amber, wasn't he?
He was saying stuff like, I wish a woman would be so passionate about me to shit in my bed. He said that like 3 to 5 times.
Yeah.
He didn't really bash her.
Right.
So I think the press took it like he doesn't know anything about her. He didn't even watch the trial.
No, of
He's
course not.
going off of what Ralph, who watched everything, to his credit, and staff did. So they're feeding him clips. He knows nothing of the fine details like we do of the psychiatrists that were put on stand and all of the crazy stuff that Amber did while she was under oath, like all the lies and the way she stared creepy at the jury. That even the jury's come out and was like, yeah, she made us very uncomfortable. And we didn't think either of them was innocent,
right.
But we definitely thought she was more offensive, or I forget the word.
She was deceptive.
Yeah.
I think he was being truthful.
Oh, Ed. I miss Ed.
Yeah, exactly.
In these Johnny Depp versus, I don't give two fucks about either one of them. I really don't care about Johnny Depp, and I don't care about Amber Heard. I don't want to see Johnny Depp in concert. I've never seen a pirate fucking movie, nor will I ever see one. I don't care about pirates. I hate fucking pirates.
But if he agreed to do a fucking interview, you'd be hearing all about the pirates. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about Pittsburgh.
I think pirates are assholes, and I don't want to hear about it. But here's the deal.
He dressed like him for fucking 10 years.
I don't know what went on with these two nudniks. I just know that they were living in a house and carrying on, shitting in bed, and fucking him throwing shit at her.
I know he was thinking, what a waste of his shit. Shouldn't that go in his mouth?
Oh,
I'm
sorry, Sam.
I should. I'll spoiler that with a siren beforehand.
And this craziness, and I don't know who's guilty or innocent. I know that
I do. I watched the trial.
Well, you are a better man than me, and I got to tell you,
I was too busy researching Euphoria, so I didn't have time for that shit. Literally,
and 18-year-olds journaling in their books with stickers and rainbow drawings. Oh my gosh!
Scratch and sniff.
Yeah, love those.
Number 13. Okay, number 3 for that day. Pelican wants his beak in the sand.
Look, I got to go. I don't care. I don't care about those two. Please do not print any more articles saying I support one or the other. It's embarrassing.
You have enough trouble. They don't have to give you that.
Yeah, it's embarrassing to even admit that I watched any minute of that trial.
I don't care. Do you think he's such a prick? He loves it when he's plastered all over the place for getting a quote from some interview that somebody's done for him, and he loves it when it's on every fucking TMZ, this, that, and the other thing. But now when it's getting put in some way that he doesn't like it, it's shit. I hate that. Don't mention me.
He also hates that they got so much attention.
Yes.
No matter good or bad, he couldn't get an article on any online platform, nothing about him, because they don't have space for it. Everybody wants to read about this trial. This was the OJ of our generation.
It was the OJ of someone's generation for sure, but this is the second, I'd say, and like I said to Sam, it was way more addictive for me because I was able to watch it in real time, some of it, because with OJ, I was working all kinds of odd shifts, so I could only catch stuff in the newspapers the day after, if I was lucky, and the internet eventually, but mostly I couldn't catch it in real time because of my work at the time.
Same. I mean, I was still, early 20s at that point. So I was working already, and it was a big deal though. You'd still read about it in the news, the extra, or, Hollywood gossip. Everybody was talking about it. Late night people, SNL. Remember Norm? Norm did so many great OJ bits. God bless him. That was the best. On Saturday Night Live, they used to rip OJ apart.
There's one clip. It's not even that funny of a sketch, but they have Al Michaels and Will as Al Michaels, I think, Will Ferrell, and then Tim Meadows as OJ, and he does that whole thing where you draw on the screen, and he puts all these dots and things, and it spells out "I did it."
Yeah.
At the end.
Oh man, good stuff.
So anyway, let's go with the next one. This is from Mark Shabzovich. So Mark, thank you. These are from you. First one is called "Grim Reaper Creeps on Wiggy and His Piece," and I mean his hair piece, not his piece of pussy.
Well, the former good-looking people, they're old, and I go, honey, how old? I say, I look better than that, right? I look better than this guy. I think he's younger than me. And then she has to say,
that's a thing that's going on now. How old is that person?
Well, she'll say to me, honey, you look so young. I seen pictures of myself lately. She does. I seen pictures of myself lately. It's fucking hideous. It's hideous.
Now you're worse. You go way overboard.
Oh my God. It's unbelievable. The only weird thing is my hair is still dark. So I look like one of those old dudes that's dyeing his hair, and I'm not.
No, because your hair isn't super black.
No.
Shoe polish, Your Honor.
I have pictures. I almost made a thread this week, but I was too damn fucking busy and it broke my heart. But I have pictures of his wig pulled back now. When he was, I think it was Post Malone he was interviewing. I forget who it was. But his wig is back to where it was almost like early pandemic time. Oh. And I zoomed in on it and there's scalp and then there's, it's a mess. It's the same color, but it's still, it's always sitting at a different angle.
You look at those underwater videos where someone people, show footage, 4K footage underwater. And there's, let's say a round stone or some kind of like really cylindrical object and the octopus like envelops it completely. That's what it looked like in those early days with his wig. It looked like it was grasping it like like the tentacles were going all over the place.
Tendrils.
Not even tendrils, like literally. So when he goes on these rants, I love them because first I wanted you to hit the bell for Beth says I look young. Beard agreement, Your Honor.
Delayed bell. Sorry, Your Honor.
No worries.
I got a lot of gray now.
Yeah,
I see it.
That keeps it from looking like,
right,
one of those
like coloring it. Yeah.
Fake dye jobs that look terrible.
Yeah. I got a nice head of hair. It's almost a waste. Because look at my fucking mug. You know what I mean?
You know what? I look at Johnny Depp and I go, boy, he's still got a nice head of hair.
Nice head of hair, but who are these women who are out there swooning over this motherfucker? I mean, Jesus Christ. I think,
let's see, talent, charisma, massive megastar, loves to party, makes music, loves music, owned a music club at one point where famous people died in front of.
Overdosed.
And one of my favorite, and the early Viper Room band footage, the Neurotic Outsiders did their gigs there. That was that super group of Matt Sorum, Steve Jones from the Sex Pistols, what's his name, Duff from Guns N' Roses, and John Taylor from Duran Duran got together to make a group called, for one album, it was on Madonna's label. They were called Neurotic Outsiders, and they do a fantastic cover of Janie Jones that's way better than the original by far. Guaranteed. And it's a good crunch rock album, punk album, and but the music that came out of there was fantastic. So he had his finger in so many different pies, and he's got, like I said, talent. I think it will come back.
He grew up playing the guitar as an escapism from his abusive mother.
Yeah.
And that was his happy place as a kid. So when he came to Hollywood, he wanted to be like Tom Petty made a video, and Johnny's in it because it kind of tells his story of how he came to Hollywood to be a musician. Mm-hmm. But then Nicolas Cage convinced him to go to an audition, and then he went the way of movies instead of music.
Yep.
So,
I'm fascinated with people that are. I'm fascinated for people who are famous for something but do something else pretty well. Like Sam Kinison could play guitar and play piano. He was musical. He actually had a bit of talent. And Johnny Carson used to drum. Dice Clay was a drummer when he was younger. Certain people like Eric Carr was a drummer for Kiss, but he also taught himself how to play guitar and was, just chords and stuff. But I still found it fascinating.
Brendan's going to love this. How about Piscopo? He could play instruments and sing and rap.
Kimberly.
He tortured me this week with video after video of Piscopo. I was like, I give Uncle mercy. Stop.
Mercy.
No more.
Yeah, we surrender. Number 2 from Mark Shabzovich is called Pirates of Penzance. So you'll understand it when you hear the context, guys.
So the girl who showed up dressed as a big pile of shit, she gave Wolfie a Captain Jack Sparrow. Is that? I never saw one of those movies.
Yeah, that's the Pirates of the Penzance.
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean, not Penzance.
I'm sorry, Caribbean. Yeah, they both suck. But
you better eat something. You better eat something.
It could be that. Yes, Howard. I'm not
getting woozy. Robert.
Not as on it.
Oh, that was Pirates of the Kings of the Wild Frontier. I mean, that was
Adamant.
Yes.
Nice.
So let's go with the next one. I just love Slender Man Yoga Rigor Mortis.
He should.
I tried yoga, and I got a thing going on now. I can't lay flat on my back. It's very difficult for me. It's crazy. I'm like, I got rigor mortis, and I'm not even dead yet.
Rigor mortis, and you're not dead yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And
what are you talking about?
I just now have to Photoshop that picture of him crouching, going up the stairs, but flat on a yoga mat. So we're going to call that. I'm going to put him and Hilaria Baldwin in a yoga studio. I'm going to just call this one, I don't know, Frozen Yoga or something like that. This next clip is called Quick on the Drawer.
Oh, the Photoshop could be Wigamortis, but yeah.
Okay. Well, I just don't know what the title of the episode is going to be, but we'll figure that out. Quick on the Drawer.
Most people are not quick on the drawer. They don't know how to handle a gun. They're not quick on the draw. Quick on the draw.
You said drawer.
I'm sorry. I'm tired, and I'm actually having a problem with my throat.
Tired.
My mouth.
Throat.
But
how about just a pair of tidy whities, and we'll call it Quick on the Drawer. Okay.
Tommy John's.
Tommy John, that's right. Number 5, multimillionaire is shy about his dollars. So,
I haven't spoken to you in a while.
Yeah, man. How you doing? Everything good?
Yeah, everything's good.
You're a multi-millionaire. How could it be bad? Hey, listen, Michael. You know what I'm saying? If you got all the money,
all right. What do you want to say?
We heard you. Go on with your topic.
Why is he so eager to get off the topic of his money? He always is, but this is.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
Just hang up on him.
Yeah. Or why not drop the call? Just dump. He's got a dump button, you know.
Yes, and there's a call that comes in on the 14th that I wonder if it is fake because he does drop out of it because the person's talking about going somewhere and not getting anything. I think is what they were going to argue, like going out and going to weddings and nobody got anything, and he's going to go, well, that disrupts my narrative, so fuck this call. I think it was real, actually.
There was also another time where somebody was mentioning the name of somebody and he dumped because he didn't want their name mentioned.
Right.
I think it was Dee when
Beth.
she said who she was going to lunch with.
Right. She's too stupid to just keep that to herself.
You don't have to explain. Like, you're not doing a stand-up.
He's now going to elaborate on that brilliant comment.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ken.
All right. Michael Rappaport. I've been watching.
Okay, that's enough of that one. So now we're going into the 14th, guys. Now, this is, of course, obviously after the following week. And so we're going to start off with the first one is called Dead Air Zvi Blitzkrieg, because there's shitloads of dead air before we go into the next bits. And this is where he gets pissed off at Beth because she wants to go out, and it's really, really telling. And Bob, you're going to get this before anybody else hears it. I don't know that I'm going to edit it, and you'll get it. I want you to hear this stuff for yourselves because it's for yourself, because it really is something that should go in another, psychological, like him versus Beth or something like that. I have no idea. Control. The episode will be control based. So.
But I was very caught up in it yesterday. That's why I was very busy yesterday, Robin. I had no time for nonsense. I was very caught up in Katie Tur and her dad.
You were getting steeped in.
I had to look this up because Katie Tur is some kind of journalist, but Zoe Tur was her father, who she was estranged with, who became a woman.
Right.
And he was obsessed with this story.
Yeah, I don't get it.
The upbringing of Katie.
Yeah, she transitioned to being a woman, and then I had Allison Barber on my mind and was looking for bikini photos. My day was pretty full.
Her.
Yeah.
Drink.
Wow.
I'm also nervous. Beth's going to have lunch with one of her girlfriends.
Jeez, he was sketchy on bringing that up.
Don't we all say that about our spouses?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, number 2, COVID alert set to DEFCON 9 because Beefus is fleeing the stable.
So she announced that to me. So first of all, she's not going to be after the show. Beth is always here for me, but she won't be with me today, which I don't like.
Okay.
We've only had 2 years of being on top of one another full time, and
Christ almighty, that visual. That's what I needed now.
Yeah.
And then
and you're going to miss her.
Well, I said to Beth, she goes, I'm going to have lunch with my girlfriend outdoors, at her home, socially I said, Please be careful. I don't want.
Oh, and by the way, that was the problem. The real problem, of course, was she's going out with somebody. Not that she's going out. Not that there's COVID. Not that they have fucking bubonic plague souffle that they're having and they're sharing. It's that she's going outside to talk with somebody who isn't him, and he can't control it. And he's worried, of course, what's she going to say to this fucking person? What's she going to tell? We had that clip earlier when they said, I don't like these people having access to you. I'm really going to have to start, maybe when I'm on vacation, I'll do a big Howard Hughes analysis, research project, and really figure out the similarities, because my God, this is disturbing, actually.
He's very upset that she's not there for him to take their walk, right? Because he can't walk alone because he can't find his own way home. And then
he needs his Clydesdale GPS.
Part 2 of it, is that she's going to go be with somebody and he doesn't know what she's going to say to them. She might be venting about how sick of him she is, how she can't believe this bullshit. She's still not allowed out, hasn't been on a red carpet, hasn't had a model shoot or a photo cover in ages. And she's just fed up doing cat litter, if she's even doing it.
Yeah, really.
So, wow. Yeah.
Want to get COVID. And she goes,
now, what are the rules that you two are observing? Is there any particular?
Well, I'm observing different rules than she is.
I see.
So I said to her, please be careful. Oh, boy. That started the whole thing.
Really?
You should.
I'm observing different rules than she is. So he knows that when she goes out, she does what the fuck she likes, probably not wearing the masks, all this stuff, that it bothers him. And I do believe him when he's saying he's doing, he's double masking and all this other shit when he goes out. I do believe that, because he's a weirdo like that. But because didn't he say we covered it one breakdown where he went out to dinner with someone and they saw people, but they were 5 meters away, and we saw the house and we went there, but we didn't actually contact them. We didn't touch them.
Yeah, he got a house tour.
Yes, something like that.
Of a friend that just got a new house built.
Right.
But they were masked up. They were not really. I think they ate outside, maybe? Did they eat with them?
Yes, it was definitely, but there was a disconnect. There was definitely no mingling inside, and the house tour. They probably had opened every fucking window in the dead of winter just to make sure that, it was perfectly ventilated for King Farouk. But, yeah.
I hope they had an elevator to get him to the second floor.
Or that stair escalator, that lift.
Oh, yeah, one of those old people stair lifts.
And have to say that to me. You know I'm careful. I go, I know you are, but call me neurotic. I don't want to get COVID. So, and if I get it, I want to get it because of something better than you just having lunch with a friend. Because in my mind, there's no friend worth getting COVID for.
Clip number 3. Even your COVID is about me.
Not even me.
Yeah, right. No, not even you. And it's so I don't even know.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to isolate from her? Are you going to hide? What are you going to do?
I don't know. I just hope I don't know what her plan. I should call her up and get her down here because it sets her off when I go. It's kind of funny. I'm going to wrap her up in saran wrap. I go, I want her to wear a mask when she's sitting outdoors with her friend, but she won't do that. No.
It's kind of funny to him to bring her down on the air and berate her and yell at her because he doesn't do it. He's too much of a fucking shy asshole. He has no balls. He has no backbone.
Yeah, he's a pussy.
To do it when they're home alone, one-on-one, because she'll yell at him.
I believe so.
She will give it back hard, and he'll just be like, he won't know how to fight. He can't. Verbal warfare is the worst thing for him. He just doesn't have it in him.
Right.
And it gets worse as he gets older.
Right.
So
he didn't call Rachel Hunter Rachel Cunter to her face. He waited until she was in an elevator going down the fucking building.
Mm-hmm.
Andy
he fights
Dick.
with tapes.
Yeah, Andy Dick. We're going to do that one eventually. And I'm like you could have, what was Andy Dick going to do to you if he was in the studio? It wasn't like Robert Blake or Mr. T.
I mean, he weighs less than Wiggy, so come on.
Yeah.
That would be a good Ultimate Fighting Championship. Andy Dick and Wiggy. My money's on Andy, by the way.
Very, very, very lightweight division.
But you know, like if I go and get COVID, I want it to be for like, well, I had a bunch of friends over too. What joy am I going to get out of getting COVID?
Oh, I see. You don't want to get it because she went and did something and brought it back.
Yeah, great.
And you didn't even have any fun.
I didn't even have any fun.
What a fucking piece of shit. I mean, I don't want to get it because you had fun. Well, you're not going out. You don't want to go out and meet people. So go fuck yourself. If I were her, I'd be licking the fucking door on my way out the door. I'd be literally going, touching everything. I'd be doing like the OCD thing, like bothering people.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
If he had his way, he'd shit on her bed for doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be it. Like he's going to torture her. She's going to pay for this. And she doesn't even care. Like she knows him well enough now, 20 years in. She knows she's going to pay for it, but she's still willing to go out and do it.
Yep.
And she thinks that being on the air, she can plead her case
and
have people sympathetic to her. But she doesn't, I don't know. Maybe she has to do whatever. I mean, if she wants that $10 million in their divorce contract settlement, she's got to do what she's got to do and play the role.
What happens in this next clip is going to be Robin explaining about the aforementioned wedding we talked about that she attended. And she knew she was going to. Like, by the time they're beating on fucking Booey, she should be, as I mentioned before about Artie keeping silent during certain appearances in studio of certain people or leaving the compound, as it were. She should be keeping her fucking mouth shut when it came to the Booey beatdown. No, she piled on knowing she was going to do exactly like Booey a week later. And now he finds out about this and he's pissed off. And to some people, I read somewhere that they thought this is bullshit. Like it was a bit for the air. She did go, but he knew about it and he was making like he was upset. No, he was upset. He was
genuinely upset.
Yeah, you could tell.
The way he brings up stuff from the past or things that he's done for her. Like giving her life because he paid for her treatment and got her the best doctors when she had cancer, everything.
Supposedly paid for her treatment. I think he arranged the stuff, got her in somewhere, but she foot the bill because he's not. There's no way he's paying for her fucking anything. I don't believe it.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, number 4, let Dr. Sloucho tell you what's wrong with you, Robin.
Should I ask her to come down? It'll be kind of funny.
Well, I don't know if I'm the right person for you to be talking to.
Why?
I went to a wedding this weekend.
Oh, you're fucking nuts. Are you crazy out there? Why didn't you tell me that when I spoke to you?
Well, you hung up on me. You remember you had to
bullshit.
Go.
I spoke to you for an hour. You didn't bring it up in an hour.
No, it wasn't an hour. You go,
It might have been 25 minutes. I got to go.
25 minutes, an hour. There's no difference. And
same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on. Are you kidding? You went to a wedding. Did you wear a mask?
No. Everybody had to be tested.
Wow. I am shocked. With your fucking immune system. Wait a second. With your immune system, you went to a wedding. You were told not to do anything like that.
By the way, guys, my wife had the same cancer she had, except it was not as far advanced as what Robin's was. She had endometrial cancer and they had a huge grapefruit-sized tumor. That was the description. And doctors confirmed it was not a joke. It was not bullshit. Who's she? Like, he's going to lie about his 95% cancer scare bullshit, but she wasn't about to lie about this. Instead, she'll just say how, Western doctors are bullshit and veganism saved my life. Yeah, not the fucking person that cut the goddamn tumor out of your gullet, out of your fucking out of your guts rather. And so she after chemo, your immune system is definitely compromised. You have to wait quite a while. You can't use hairspray. You can't. There's certain things, like certain chemicals you could use for hair products, or certain things you were able to use for like skin products. Even you cannot use them. Colognes, perfumes, certain things you're not allowed to until a certain amount of time after the chemo. I don't know that Robin is now still going through stuff because they've kind of danced around it for a while now. That maybe she's got what do you call it? Recurrence.
She hasn't been talking about her health very much, but the fact that she did this recent diet, which is fasting and sea moss is one of the elements of it. It's that I think you drink it in like a shake.
Mm-hmm.
So one of our great posters, I don't want to mention her, but she went through some cancer as of late. And she mentioned this in our live thread that this sea moss fasting diet is Dr. Sebi. I think that's the name, if I have it right, Sebbi.
Okay.
And that it can be used for people with cancer or people that are going to fight off cancer or who have had it recently.
Yeah.
In a detox, a cleanse. And so immediately I thought, well, Robin had her surgery back like 6 to 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe longer. Maybe
it was 2012, 2011, 2012-ish. Yeah, so it's 10 years.
So
and
there
it
had
would
to
be.
have, go ahead.
Yeah, no, please.
Well, there had to have been something since then. If she was suddenly doing some kind of cancer cleanse, detox diet, and she made it sound like it was all for weight loss. And everybody agreed that it was like the latest fad or some, bandwagon that she was hopping onto that celebs were doing or that was popular with people nowadays.
Right.
And, she said she didn't eat for 5 days and she had been doing it since March off and on, but over the Memorial Day weekend, she didn't eat for 5 days. And then she ended up losing 20 pounds as of late. And I have pictures of her before and after. They're not that different. And it could just be chin liposuction, which Dame Bethman seems to think. She got some facial liposuction to pull in, her double chins and stuff. Either way, Robin is going to be 70 in August and has really been hanging on by a thread. If you think about like how her cancer, how dangerous it was for her and to recover, and then yet to not maintain your health or your weight, at least all 10 years since then, you would, I don't know. If that was me, I would have a whole awakening in my lifestyle and try to be more mobile. And I know with the pandemic, it's tough, but still you can get up, walk around, you can have a treadmill, an exercise bike, you can have something to work it off.
Anecdotally, I will say that it's because of what the operation my wife went through was a lot more than most people who do this. And it was more, the recovery process was god awful. I can say that much. And the amount of pills, the cocktails she took to get through every day were like something like 20 pills a day. And I can't even, it really, as I said, it sounded like aluminum hitting in gravel hitting an aluminum pan. That's how many pills would hit this fucking container I used to give her. And the whole thing is with some of the meds create bloating for sure. So I'm going to give her the benefit of that doubt. Yeah. And you become more sedentary because of the lack of energy you have and the pain and possible neuropathy that she probably had as well. But at any rate, I will say there's every indication that she did have it again, say 5 years ago, and it's come back. And because it's almost never. I mean, it's like cancer. Every one of us, we grow old enough, are going to get something. That's just the way nature takes care of us. They wipe us out somehow. Nature is the ultimate hitman. So what happens? So if that's the case, and they're not talking about it, which really I think is disgraceful, she should be very honest about it, very open. And this would be a perfect angle for her to talk about recovery, be a spokesperson for cancers, and she'd do 1,000 times more good than any one of those fucking goddamn 15 foundation bullshit charities. You know what I mean?
It would be a chance for her to sort of cleanse her reputation and her legacy.
Completely.
As far as all the narcissism stuff and the haughtiness and the pontificating hypocrisies. This, if you came through and told us the honest to God truth and what you're doing, and then do some fundraisers for that were legit, I would have a complete 180 on her and my thinking that she saw the light at the end of the tunnel before she passed, and this was something that she could right a wrong or a bunch of wrongs that have happened in her past. So I don't know.
I wouldn't do a 180, but I definitely give her credit for at least doing that. So number 5, the next one, I worked so hard on the operating table to save this woman's life.
Nobody told me not to do anything.
Yes,
like
they did. Hold it a second. Your doctor who gave you chemo and they told you that your immune system is particularly weak. I know what did it. It's that, what's that actor's name who just went through chemo and he had COVID?
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges survived COVID and he has a compromised immune system.
I didn't find that out until this morning. I know I heard all that, but I really heard him talking about it this morning.
Wow.
But I just said, look, am I going to stay alone for the rest of my life? No, I can't do that. So this was a very
that's a big jump. Jump.
It was a big jump.
Why don't you start with just having a lunch with a few people outdoors?
I have done that.
Oh, wow.
I did a meeting.
Good luck to you
with someone.
Don't talk to me about all this. I worked so hard to save this woman's life, and now she's throwing it all away.
I'm fine.
Fucking hell.
See, this is him pissed. This is the MPD.
Yep.
If she gets sick and something happens to her, he's on an island all by himself on this show, and that is one of his biggest fears.
Right.
Besides being poor, is that he won't have her to lean on for the show. Even the little bit that she does do, it does kind of keep him afloat during the show from completely drowning.
Next clip is called "I Wouldn't Go to My Own Kid's Wedding." Yeah, no shit.
This is why I didn't want to tell you. I was like, I'm going to go and I'm going to be fine. And
was any portion of the wedding indoors?
The reception.
And you sat there at a table and ate and had conversation with people without a mask with your compromised immune system. Okay. All right. Goodbye.
What? You're leaving?
Are you out of your fucking mind? Are you for real? I know you're lying.
No,
you're making this up.
True.
Oh,
I think at some point, I don't know what day it's going to be. I don't know what month, what year. I think she is going to finally snap. This is my prediction. I'm certain. I may be wrong. Who knows? I think she's going to snap one day, and on the air, she's going to talk exactly what's on her fucking mind about him, about COVID, everything. Like, she's just going to snap and say, fuck you, because I'm dying. Like, I got nothing left. I'm going to be on this way out of here. And you are still obsessed with your own fucking navel, and you have no concern, no care. And I think she's going to lay it out for him and lay a fucking airstrike. Other people think, no, she's beholden, money. No, money, death trumps money. And when it gets closer to that end of life, some people, and especially if they're going through chemo and they're taking painkillers to get over whatever, she'll be the first one to say, fuck you in your fucking closet, and fuck your beard, fuck everything, and you're an asshole.
Yeah, I'm out of here. I quit. I can't do this anymore. I've got a life to live. I want to enjoy the last few weeks or months that I have left.
Absolutely.
And but I guarantee you the show would be cut. They'd go right to commercial.
Yep.
And somebody might come on like Booey and make an announcement like, sorry, guys, we've had an emergency. We need to stop the show today. We'll make it up to you another day. Something along those lines. But you're right. If she did get that kind of news from a doctor that she's
like, there's nothing left.
Got very little time left. Yeah, that would be amazing. But I know that he would dump on it.
Yep, most likely.
We'd never get it. It would just the record screech sound insert there, because it's sad to say. I don't want to think about that. I don't wish that.
No, of course not.
But like I said, she's turning 70. He says she's immunocompromised.
Right.
From the chemo. That was 10 years ago.
Yeah, it wouldn't be from that. It would be something. It has to be something.
It has to be more recent.
Yeah, it has to be more chemo, more new chemo, whatever. Even if it's oral, if it doesn't necessarily have to be the one like a what do you call it, chemo port or anything. It could be just something she's taken to maintain. Who knows? But either way, yes, she would be immunocompromised, because that chemo stuff is awful. Like, it really is the worst shit. But it's necessary for so many cases. So anyway, we'll continue.
Oh my God, I don't even believe.
You want to see a picture of me at the wedding? No.
Wow. Who the hell was it that's so important to you?
A dear friend's daughter was getting married, who I've watched grow up, and so I went to her wedding.
I tell you, if it was my own kids getting married, I don't think I'd
You wouldn't go.
No.
Yeah, That I don't, and he's not lying. He's not lying. Next clip is called "Wig is so worried about Robin's compromised immune system."
Oh, what's going on with you? First you starve yourself, now you're going to weddings. I get what's happening. You're ready for a man. You're putting it all out there.
Please. That's the last thing I'm ready for. I'll stay in here forever to avoid that.
Were you nervous being there at all, or you just?
It was an undertaking. It was like, it took a lot of thought. I mean, I didn't just automatically say yes. I really thought it through, and she told me all the precautions she was taking.
What were the precautions?
Elderly parents, and she wanted to make sure they were safe because they wanted to be there.
All right. So what did they do?
They had everyone tested. Everyone had to have a negative test.
A home test.
They had to have something they could email. So it wasn't like a simple, go to the drugstore and get a test.
Right. They had to have a legitimate test done by a clinic or a lab or whatever and sent to the people. But doesn't mean now, and obviously in between that and the wedding, they could easily catch it and then, bring it along with them. I mean, which is, I think, kind of retarded. But either way, I think the most of what she was worried about was having to put up with this bullshit. Like, what happens? What kind of blowback am I getting from this asshole if I admit this?
Well, I think she's also standing up to him and being like, look, I need a life.
Yeah.
I've had enough. 2 years, 3 months. I can't take it anymore. And that's why I'm saying is like the same with the rest of the staff, Beth, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
For Booey to go out across the country for his big weekend concert.
Mm-hmm.
Jason went to Fish with Blit. They're all having dinners. Ralph is going out. He's been going out all along, but he doesn't seem to get berated for it.
No,
and then he just gets quizzed on his gay antics and put down for how he gets when he's drunk. And apparently he was supposed to be on the wagon, but he fell off and embarrassed himself and wilding. And that's a whole nother story. But we're going to hear about, pretty soon Beth and how she needs a life.
Yep.
But he won't let up on these people.
Yep.
They had to have a test that could be emailed. The results could be emailed.
Why didn't she test them at the door when they came in? It only takes 20 minutes for the results.
Well, she decided
to email.
She did her research, and this was the way she wanted to do it. And there was a doctor there. I sat with a doctor, and he had extra tests on him just in case.
Ronnie failed a home test. Then he went to the doctor and tested positive. So there you go.
Well, that's Ronnie. He's been running around like a maniac.
Well, you got a compromised immune system. That's why I'm carrying on.
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
The next clip is called "Booey Actually Correct for a Change."
Well, I understand that, but I just had another shot like a month ago.
Okay. What do you think, Gary?
I'm just shocked because Robin gave me so much shit a mere 7 days ago. I mean, just fucking beat the shit out of me that I left the house. How could I? What are you thinking?
I didn't say left the house. You were running around like a maniac.
I was at an outdoor concert. You were indoors
You
with
were
sick
doing
people.
concert after concert after concert.
Here's the thing, and I don't begrudge Robin, but we all have our own rationalization and our own levels. So Robin's now... we were all tested. I've been to a bunch of places.
But she's got a compromised immune system.
That I agree with.
Wow.
She's in way more danger than I would be.
This is going to open the floodgates. Everybody is going to start doing shit. They're going to start not giving a crap. And I think he realizes too, I'm losing control of everybody. Everybody's going back to life but me.
Mm-hmm.
Hence those statements he made of talking to Dr. Anus, talking to a psychiatrist about how do I get back into socializing? What the fuck? You were never good at socializing anyway. You hated it.
God.
You'd go to an early dinner with beef and you'd leave in less than an hour.
Be home by 8.
Not even 8. By 6:30, he'd be home.
Wait till you hear Baba Booey's feast finale.
Oh, I love that.
You're going to cry laughing at some point.
I can't wait.
So the next one is called "If a Battle Can't Be Won, Gary, Don't Fight It." And I'm going to make a Photoshop, "The Art of Wine" by Sun Svi.
She's rolling the dice.
I'm not going anywhere else for weeks now.
She's rolling.
I will be running around taking
so what?
taking no precautions whatsoever.
She's rolling the dice, Gary.
She is.
Well, you roll the dice.
Look,
if I
Robin,
get into a
Robin.
2 weeks before this, she had the London friend over to her house.
Mm-hmm.
So she's saying she hasn't gone anywhere, which is true. But she had people in that have gone places. And who knows where that friend has been.
Sure.
We don't know anything about that friend.
Right.
And what precautions they've taken. And then to be on the plane and in the airports, and in a cab,
stopovers,
wherever, Uber, you name it.
Yeah, it's like a COVID buffet. I mean, if you really want to go through when people do this, like I'm going. That's right. I'm going to Greece this summer, knowing I'm most likely going to get it somewhere either in transit or like at the airport when I get there, because I know what I know what my kind are like. They didn't, when every other country went non-smoking, I went on a Greek flight, like a Olympic Airlines flight, and I remember hearing the pilot going, "Ladies and gentlemen, we are not responsible for any lost or stolen articles," something like that. There was literally a breath. The guy took a puff, and that's still ashtrays in the aisles, like in the aisle seats. So in the seat rests, so armrests.
That's how you know you have an old plane, right?
Oh, big time. Yeah, that's when you start looking for, like, is there an airbag? I don't care about the in-flight entertainment. I just want to know there's some kind of, something I can
oxygen
hold on to, other than the wing fuselage. Anyway, so we're going to play a little more.
All right.
Robin, watch this. Lucky 7, come on.
When
rolling
I get into a car, Howard, I'm rolling the dice.
All
when
right.
I walk down a flight of stairs, I'm rolling the dice.
No.
That's the truth. When I sit down on a chair that doesn't look stable, I'm rolling the dice. When I get invited to an all-you-can-eat, I'm rolling the dice.
So last week when I rolled the dice, how
people die from accidents?
Go ahead, make your point. Go ahead.
How come when I rolled the dice last week, I got zero compassion from you? Zero. You were meaner than Howard. You were meaner than Howard.
You're in there. And nobody's tested wherever you go. Nobody's checking. And you're running around without a mask.
Wow. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
This is really where the staff decides, well, if they're going, I'm going. Fuck it.
Right. No holds barred anymore. It's just have a free-for-all. Everybody live your life. Okay. And you know what I noticed in the last round of COVID that swept through my kids' schools was the only people that got it were ones who never had it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my daughter got it, came home, nobody else in the house got it because we all had it in 2020.
Right.
She was the only one who never got it back then. So when all of her little friends gave it to each other, she didn't bring it home.
Right. So you think it's more likely, more than likely, just getting some type of immunity, being vaxxed, getting it, having got it, having gone through it, having some kind of retain some measure of immunity.
Yeah, antibody resistance.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, because that's what they're looking. That's what they're basically. The vaccines were essentially meant to be a holding pattern so that people could eventually build up some type of immunity if they got it, or if it got spread through family members, that kind of thing. And really, a lot of it was hope. We're hoping it doesn't put you on a ventilator because you have asthma or because you have some kind of allergy, especially. And so, yeah, and at the end of the day, that's what they're going to bank on, so that when there's a new version of whatever, there's another one called, I can't remember what it's called, the latest variant. At any rate, regardless, when it goes through, they're just going to hope that it's, even if it's different, it's not as severe as the first and second wave of the variants. At any rate, the next one is called fear mongering and Fruit Loops for breakfast. So all of a sudden, okay, Beth starts coming in. Hold on.
By the way, the groom of the wedding that Robin went to is on the phone. Let's say hello to him. Yes, you were the groom?
Hello, David.
Where are you, sir?
Not true.
All right. He can't. Uh-oh.
Like, this really isn't funny. That's like on any level to me, and because I've known people who passed away because of the virus, and and people we know through the show have lost people through the virus. So this is not a really funny thing. It might be in the future. I don't know, top tragedy plus time, but I don't think so either, because it's still like you're telling a dying woman about some wedding. Anyway, sorry. That's a little upsetting.
Well, she does this nervous cackle throughout it. She's the only one laughing. You don't hear Booey laughing because he lost his father-in-law.
That's right.
And other people, no one else is chiming in. Fred's pretty quiet. He's just playing sound effects.
That's right.
But he's a heartless bastard, so fuck Fred.
Yeah, fuck Fred. But the other thing is, do you notice, I know you notice actually, Bowie's voice is markedly weaker.
Sure.
Than it's ever been. Now, that could be COVID related, but I think it's happened since the pandemic. It's happened, and maybe a little before.
He's losing his timbre.
Yeah, totally. But he's also like his baritone, his bass is leaving him, and I don't know if he's still smoking. Does he still talk about it, or is he vaping?
He claims to have quit, but I don't believe him one bit.
I don't believe it.
All the years he's done it, and then I think he still sneaks them probably like late at night when he's drinking or something.
Most likely.
The kids are gone, so there's less people. You know, if Mary goes to bed, he could have like a whole pack and a bottle of Avion outside by the fire pit.
That's right. Clutching his knee.
Yeah, well, he's popping some oxys, maybe. I don't know. I'm just kidding. But the thing is, his voice is weak. It's raspy, and age is definitely catching up with him.
Yep. Next clip. How about a second helping?
My wife's going to a lunch, so her girlfriend is on the phone. Let me say, hi, how are you?
Hey, Howard, this is Lynn. You're being so silly because I'm sorry, my allergies are crazy today.
See, you're going to make me nuts with this.
Okay, and the next one is called, you guys will understand it after you hear it, The Closet, not The Jungle, Howard.
Gary still sounds like
best.
Gary, you
nobody even sniffled at that wedding. It was the healthiest.
You checked everybody,
people.
right? You checked all 200 people.
I just happened to be there, and I was like, not a soul even coughed.
I'm just saying that everyone's got their line and their rationalization, and this is yours, which you're entitled to.
You know what I feel like?
To take that step. I'm not just going out willy-nilly.
Robin was my only ally in all of this, and now I feel like I'm that Japanese guy at the end of World War II. The war's been over for 25 years.
You're in the
cave.
cave.
I won't come out of the jungle because I'm convinced the war is still going on.
Oh, Lord.
Fucking
Here we go. Back to him.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Too much attention given, Robin and Booey going at it. And then he's like, hey, what about me over here? And so he comes up with some stupid analogy of being in the jungle.
Yeah. Next one is called, I'm going to call Beth on the air because it sets her off. Yeah, because you're too much of a pussy to confront her any other way, asshole.
Anyway, I'm alone on Iwo Jima. I'm all by myself, fighting the good fight. Yeah, so my wife is going to an outdoor lunch just with her friend, but
I mean,
I'm nervous about
must have asked this friend, how she's been living and what precautions she's been taking.
Zero. I know this friend.
What?
I know the friend.
Yeah.
She's living her life fully.
Oh.
I'm going to call Beth and see if she's going to be careful today, because it'll be funny for the air because it sets her off.
Like that you heard it. You heard the same thing I did. I'm going to call her on the air. This is how I can deal with her. Yeah.
I can really give it to her good on the air because I have an army of people with drops, laughter, and bits.
Fake
ready
shit.
To go.
Yeah. And the other thing is, but the difference is she doesn't really back down, does she?
No, not at all. Eventually she makes a quick exit, I guess.
Yep.
But she stands her ground for a bit. Yep. Also, I'd like to mention Dame Bethman has a theory that Beth is in Florida and Wiggy's in New York. Mm-hmm. And the fact that he has to call her, I know he's been doing this all along, but Dame Bethman really has a theory that they haven't seen each other in a long time. There's no real photographs of them together. There's that one time where on Instagram, and we don't know when that was done, when that was recorded. So it's all kind of shifty on the sketchy on the time. but you just don't see a lot of videos or pictures with them together live.
Well, yet on one of the audio clips I have here, she says, "Can I get a picture of you for Instagram?" Do you think that's bullshit? Like she's not there and she's just saying it?
Then they're better actors than we think they are. I know. I go back and forth on this because I think she's a very valid source for info. And some of the things I question where she gets her facts from. Yeah. Or he, whoever, whatever they are.
It's most likely a she. I mean, we're just presuming.
So a lot of the stuff is really well written, intelligent, and fact based. So I give her a lot of credit. There's certain things I'm not sure about yet. So I don't speak of them until I really think I have something to go on, some real proof more than what I'm reading. But in this case, I don't think they're together that much.
Mm-hmm. So the next one is called Beth and the Kids, and who else doesn't respond when King Baby snaps his fingers?
Well, this is a woman who carries her phone with her everywhere, and I just texted her, and I'm not getting any response. I get so mad when I don't get an immediate response. I'm like, what the fuck? I see every minute she responds to everybody. Why am I not getting an immediate response?
Wonder.
I can tell you why.
She's thinking of a case to defend herself.
Yeah,
and all the things that she's going to say, because she probably knows what he's going to talk about. He's probably been like tantruming or passive aggressively, not talking, giving her the cold shoulder, those kinds of things all day. If they are together, or just not responding to her texts, or he's definitely giving her some kind of bad energy, bad mojo.
Oh, yeah. And I would hazard to say that they are together, like in the same location, but they are not in the same wing of the house. That's why the disconnect. And let's be honest, if you're in a place that big, you may as well be in a different county, in a different, different. I'm looking for a dry county. So the next clip is real or fake. You guys judge for yourselves.
Kevin, you're on the air. Hello?
Dead air.
Hey, now?
Hey,
Kevin?
Good morning.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning, Howard. Good morning, Robin. How are you folks doing?
I'm good.
I just came back from England last weekend. My wife and I, we went to a wedding just north of London. It was an outdoor wedding, but it was under a tent. More than 200 guests, no mask whatsoever, elderly people. And
I don't want to hear about it. Robin has an immune system problem. She's completely vulnerable. She could die. This is different than you, Kevin. I don't want to hear it.
See, if it's a fake call and it's wanting to bolster his case, that's what he does. He sets them up. But I believe that one was a real call for some fucking reason, and because Wilds cut him off. It could be fake. I mean, it could be one of those. Let's make it that people are defending Robin. But you guys judge for yourselves. You let us know in the comments.
My gut is saying fake because so much is on the show.
Sure.
Also, it's probably filler until Beth responds.
That could also be it. That could also be very well the case. And yes, and the other thing is if she is in another wing of the house, they might have to text her. So, and let's continue. The next one. Let's distract King Baby with some fake injury so I don't have to hear this COVID bullshit. I believe when you hear this clip, Beth does some kind of stumble bumble thing so that she can get sympathy right off the bat. She knows she's been living with this fucking operator for so long that she knows, and this is the first time I've ever heard her really come at him with incisive points about what this is really about, not the bullshit you're getting on with. And I'm amazed actually that it came out of her mouth. I really am.
She's always super clumsy. She's always falling. She's always bumping into things, not knowing how to work the volume on the goddamn headset.
Certainly.
And she's been on like a dozen times in a year. Right. But it doesn't matter because she's just either she's an idiot or she just plays it up.
I think she plays it up.
Clumsy kind of gal so that people makes her likable.
Yes,
she's
or
looking
like
for
I said,
angle.
or like I said, sympathy. So here we go, guys. You again judge for yourselves.
Honey. Oh. There she is. There's my wife.
About to go on my walk.
What walk? No, you're not going on any walk without me.
I am.
No, you're not.
She can't walk without you?
No.
Not allowed. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about, what did you do? What did you just do?
Got my finger caught in the headphones.
In the headphone? Honey, I've been on the radio 40 years. I never had a headphone accident. What did you do?
Why is it that way?
Oh, come here.
Oh, I got it.
There
I got it. Sorry.
You're just a little out
Frazzled.
of it. Frazzled.
Okay. So again, that's the audio, guys. You figure it out. The next one is called Beef is Cramming for the Big Exam.
Hi, Robin.
I was telling Robin, you have decided to go have lunch with your girlfriend today.
I just picked out my outfit.
Yeah, well, you're going to have lunch in her backyard outdoors.
Yes.
But I am nervous about it, and I want to say to you, please be careful.
But
what?
Be careful. I get so mad at you when you say that.
Why do you get mad when I say please be careful?
What do I have to be? What? How?
Okay. Now she's done this before. I remember she coming sort of like this before. I think it was about Kimmel's, but I'm not 100% sure. Yep.
Notice she says, I get so mad at you when you say that. That means he's had to say that many, many times for her to be upset with him. Now, we know she does kitten drops, right? To people that are adopting.
Right.
And he gets into it. I'm hoping you clipped it.
Yeah,
that he
I
was
did.
watching from the car. Yeah.
But also, she said it's through gritted fake teeth. So you can tell she's really wants to say, look, you fucking stick insect asshole. I'm going, fuck you, no mask. In fact, I'm going naked to this fucking indoor thing. And it's going to be a rave. And I'm doing MDMA off people's fucking shoulders. So anyway, here we go.
And I'm going to fuck the Amazon guy when he drops off a package.
And I imported some COVID from Sweden just for you, some IKEA COVID.
Let's say you're eating and you're having a good time and you forget, and you guys.
I have not seen her in 2 years. I'm going to go to her new house with my mask on. I'm going to get a tour of her house. I'm going to go outside to the garden.
Oh, you're going to wear a mask?
I'm going to remove the mask when we have lunch.
Oh, you're going to get a tour of her house and you're going to have a mask on in the house.
Correct.
Oh, go ahead.
Then we are going to go outside into her lovely garden.
Right.
And I'm going to remove my mask once we sit outside. And
I can guarantee you, she is not going to wear a mask for any of it. And he knows that, and she knows that, and she knows that he knows that, and she doesn't care.
Oh my gosh. And her voice. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that, and then this, and then that, and I'm going to take my mask off, and we're going to eat. No. Oh, I could put a gun to my head if that's true.
It's exactly like Meg Tilly in Bullets Over Broadway. She makes stuff not work. Stuff she ain't even in. It comes out all twisted.
Going to have and enjoy her company and a lovely lunch without my mask on.
I know this friend, and she has a very quiet voice. Sometimes it's hard to hear her, and I have to lean in. Are you going to lean in to hear her voice, or will you sit far away?
Okay, the next one is called, and this is connected, but I cut them up. Everything hinges on this answer. Plus, Wiggy needs fake Dr. Fauci to bolster his bullshit.
Wait.
I will sit, and if I don't hear her, I will ask her to repeat.
And what if she has to keep repeating every minute or two?
She won't. It's just the two of us.
All right.
It's when we're in loud restaurants with noise and other people talking. That's when we have a hard time hearing her.
Can you believe Robin went to a wedding? I
didn't know that.
She not only went to a wedding.
Robin went to a wedding?
She's immune compromised. This is a woman who's.
Do you hear the joy in her voice? Robin went to a wedding?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can go anywhere now.
Right.
She can go to a wedding. I can go fucking,
Right. It wasn't shocked.
Boy.
I'm shocked. I'm worried shocked. It was the floodgates are open. Now I can go.
Hello, Hamptons.
She'll be crowd surfing in no time.
In a fight of her life, and she's immune compromised, and she went to a wedding.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Yeah.
We actually had a conversation with Dr. Agus Oh, it was outside? Was the wedding outside?
No, she was inside.
The ceremony was outside, but the reception was in a restaurant.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. But she seems to be fine. So
Well,
you take
I hope
chances.
so. I hope so.
But we did have a very informative conversation with Dr. Agus the other day. And he said, come on, you guys, you have to live your lives.
What did he say? He's
been very careful indoors.
Dr. Fauci's on the phone. He wants to comment on what you're doing today. Yes, Dr. Fauci.
Howard, I have to tell you, I really think Beth is insane. I mean, really, out of her mind.
That might be the single worst impression on the show of all time.
It's up there with the Johnny Depp one.
Or anything Robin does, any voice she decides to do.
Yeah, hers too.
Next one is Beef is finally getting something from our NPD episodes.
Really, out of her mind. Like, Howard, you may as well go and just kiss everyone on a ventilator in a COVID ward. I mean, why not? What the hell?
Right, Dr. Fauci. That's what I said. No. Honestly,
I know what's going on.
You know how happy I am.
I know what's going on.
Wait a second. You know how happy I am when you are with your friends. Like Beth,
no, he's not. This is what's going on. He does not want me to leave today. That's what's going on.
I don't like when you leave.
Be honest.
Well, we have our routine, and I would like to.
You want to know what he did to me this morning, Robin?
What did I do?
Bingo.
That was the Ray voice in his head talking. We have our routine.
Mm-hmm.
We go for our walk. We eat dinner at 4:30. We watch Dancing with the Stars at 6. Blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Tortured. He is a tortured man, but he also tortures us and everybody around him just as easily.
Yeah, and she knows exactly. Like, she knows now at this point in this stage of the game exactly why he's doing what he's doing. Next clip, I had no title, so I just said just wow.
Well, we take a walk every day, and he was informed yesterday that I was going to my friends for lunch. And so this morning, on his way to work, I walk him to work, by the way, every morning.
Right.
He said to me, I'm really
Hold on. I walk him to work. Does that mean they sleep in one wing and she's got to take him to the studio?
Does she walk him down the stairs?
Maybe.
Is that it?
That has to be it.
I don't get that. That is so strange. I walk him to work. Yeah, just wow.
Is he off? If he's off site recording somewhere? Because they have it set up in the house.
It appears that way. I mean, the setup hasn't changed, just the floor, whether he's in Florida or New York. So,
I mean, does she lower him the lotion in a bucket? I mean, I don't understand what's
kind of
like.
Yeah, she kind of giggles when she says, I walk him to work. I think it's her walking him down the stairs. Like, he couldn't walk down 2 steps off the Ellen set.
Yes.
So what's he going to do with like 13 winding steps down, like with centrifugal force pulling him, gravity pulling him down?
I just have this image of her like slathering oil on marble steps.
Oh, God.
So here's the thing. Fuck the Ellen steps. There's another clip of him somewhere outside Letterman negotiating a fucking sidewalk stoop.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, if you miss that, you can injure your ankle, you can break your fucking foot walking anywhere on a sidewalk that's uneven, guys. I get that. But he was looking at that like he was stepping onto a tightrope between the Twin Towers. Like, that's how like precarious he made it seem, the way he walked. I think I took a picture of it, but I'll see if I can get video and make a GIF of it like that. Anyway, we'll continue.
Looking forward to our walk today because I am going to tell you something that I've never told you before, and it has been sitting with me, and it's time for me to tell you. I will see you on our walk.
Right.
Knowing what I would.
He holds this. He lords it over her head. That he has something special he's never told her that they're going to talk about on the walk today that she can't make because she's going to lunch. He's trying to lure her away from lunch with some made up story of something he's never told her. Like,
it's nonsense. She knows it.
Oh, man. Bob D. Really? Is this how bad it gets? They make up stories. I know it's true. You don't answer. It's okay. Yeah. I get it. Holy shit.
Guilting me and making me feel.
Yeah. I'm really.
You are a piece of work.
I have something unbelievable to tell you.
That's what he said.
I did. I wanted her to know that
She's
first of all,
and you see how flustered he is? He knows he's busted. She knows 100% that she knows all of his bullshit now. And I bet you $10 she has done the research into it. And I'm saying our show is, I'm going to be a little narcissistic myself and say she's come across the show because she has a Google alert. Whenever our name comes up when we have an episode, it comes up and she gets notified that there's an episode. I'm certain she's heard some of our NPD episodes.
Well, Beth, keep calling him a piece of work and keep telling us how bad it is. Tell us about your torture. We want to know.
Yeah, please.
We'll take your side a bit if you give us some more info on the air about the torturous chambers, the 33 wigotoid chambers of torture that you're facing down there. My God.
All you needed to do was make that 34 and we got a Photoshop.
Right. She's going to miss something. So what I'll do is when I'm on my walk, I'll call Robin and tell her instead. That's
Robin,
it. Right.
Text me and let me know. That's lovely.
Guys, beware the COVID sentinel. Here's the next clip.
Well, please be careful. I don't care. Please.
I don't want to hear that from your mouth anymore.
I love you.
I am careful.
Listen to that. I don't hear that from your mouth. I love you. This kind of like covering the bullshit, covering like this is going to dress up all the nonsense I fucking give you.
She stands up to him. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear this anymore. I love you. Like, wow.
That's a Band-Aid.
I don't want to hear this anymore. How much have you heard it?
Yeah.
Left the house in years.
What did you do the other day? You got to hear this.
What?
The adoption?
You hear how she says she's careful? Listen to this.
All right.
So I drove her. She, of course, Beth is an angel, and she...
we need to crowbar that in. Okay, sure.
We do animal rescue. One of the kittens was ready to go to her forever home.
Mm-hmm.
Beth said, would you drive me to the adoption? So, you know I don't like to drive, Robin, but I'll do.
I just put a Minuteman Photoshop. I should have saved it for this.
He sits in the back of a limo, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, well, he said he drives her, which I don't fucking buy for a minute. No way.
No way. She should have said, would you accompany me?
If he can't see a step, he can't see oncoming traffic. Even in the Hamptons, you might hit a stray iguana and all of a sudden your vision's fucking blurred. So I don't know.
Do anything for my
Not Hamptons, sorry, Florida. I'm sure there's no iguanas in the Hamptons unless they're, imported.
Yeah.
And I drove her to the adoption. And I kept quiet and I observed what went on. My wife was not wearing a mask, number one.
We were outside in a parking lot.
Okay, hold it.
We weren't close.
The other couple was...
Hold on for a sec. But while I'm playing that, I'm gonna throw this on. Give me a moment.
Okay.
Guys, I just realized what this reminded me of.
Was not wearing a mask. And then I almost fell out of the car. The guy puts his hand out to shake Beth's hand. She shakes his hand.
So cute.
Now I'm sitting at the wheel going, oh my God.
The COVID policeman was watching me.
The COVID is on her hand now. And she's going
Oh, we have a winner. Ding. Thank you. Fan-fucking-tastic.
I hope that sounds, you can hear it in the audio, guys. I know we could hear it, but maybe it wasn't loud enough. I apologize in advance.
And these people rub their faces.
Right.
We rub our faces all the time.
But I get in the car no matter what, and I sure rub
No, you
myself.
didn't. You got in the car, and I said to you, honey, you
didn't give me a chance to get my truth out.
You shook this guy's hand.
I knew the whole time I'm concentrating, telling them the feeding schedule. I couldn't even concentrate because I knew you were watching me out of the rearview mirror.
I watched everything. I saw everything.
Oh,
I saw.
You're not driving me anymore, ever.
Oh, what a punishment. What a punishment.
I might need you next weekend.
Oh, please.
My fantasy mind is her taking the top off the sanitizer and throwing it in his face, like all over his wig, like just dumping it on him. Like, you want to be clean? I'll get you fucking clean, asshole. Just fucking wailing it all over the limo. I'd love that.
The next clip I got for you, because I'm pretty certain I heard it this way. Robin she wants to use the word verboten, but she makes it sound like forboten. FOR space BOATIN apostrophe. Yeah, so here we go.
I always think of one time Beth and I were having a discussion. Wait a minute. We're having a discussion. I think it was like at Christmas time or something. And, I had given her a purse as a gift. And she said, Robin, I don't even know where my purse is. We haven't been out of the house so that I don't even remember where it is.
Honey, handshaking, and you claim to be careful? Are you kidding? I didn't handshake before
at the
COVID.
Very beginning of the pandemic, we didn't know what was going on. And so handshaking was verboten.
She might have said it correctly, but it sounded like verboten to me. So anyway, the next one is going to call. I've got it here listed as only dumbo marks could call hand sanitizer jism.
I never. You know, I never shook hands even before the pandemic. I am against it. I don't like handshaking. And when
you're lucky I didn't hug.
And here's another thing. Take a look at my wife's Instagram. All the pictures of her with the various couples who adopt, Beth is never wearing a mask in the pictures with the families.
You'll know which one is the one that Howard was driving me, because I'm literally, for our picture that Howard took of us, we're like 4 feet apart.
But so she gets in the car.
That's what I noticed in the picture.
So when he's around, she does things a certain way, but when she's not, she's like, fuck it. She's absolutely like, fuck it. She doesn't care.
She's got tons of photos of her with adopters putting their arm around them or standing like right next to them. No space in between. None.
Nothing. Yep.
It's always socially distanced from these people.
Not always. Take a look carefully. And then
the COVID policeman.
And Beth
is my husband.
Beth got in the car and I go, "Where is your jism?" That's what we call the gook you put on your hands to. I said, "You just shook this guy's hand. You have no jism." She goes, "Isn't there jism in the car?" I go, "No, there's no jism. You can't get the germs over you."
No jism. What are you talking about?
I usually bring jism. I didn't know she was going to shake hands.
I washed my hands as soon as I got home.
Everyone was on top of each other. That was bad enough. And now they shook hands. And then then Beth says, "I'm not going to touch anything until we get home." We didn't have a long drive home, but I said, You're gonna touch your face. You're gonna see, and then that broke into a whole thing because you see, when Beth thinks she's being careful, she's not. She's not.
Well,
you can be honest.
Yeah, this is to me the parallel is about. I got to make this real quick because I know we're going long, guys. Allergies and allergens and not touching, like, what do you call it? Cross-contamination. I am so aware of that because of my wife's seafood allergies that I have to make sure nothing gets near it. I got to make sure, I got to smell things sometimes to make sure that they haven't been touched with somebody who had fish on their, like, near them or whatever. I have to wipe down stuff. I got to really go to great pains to tell people, keep your utensils to your plate. If you need stuff, let me know. I'll put it on your plate with this thing, whatever. Whenever we're at a communal thing, and people know this, like they know that with the allergy, a lot of them are kind enough not to order fish, but we tell them, no, go ahead, just keep it over there, but understand even the fumes will set her off. So if you really want to be kind, just don't do it. So hence why we go to like small gatherings. We don't have to really fucking put people out like that. But COVID would have been the same way. You can't just, I'll wipe it later. Well, it's on you,
Right.
Your hands are fucked. Yeah.
But I just have to comment on the fact that he says jism.
Yeah.
Just say jizz. Why you got to say jism? Jism is such an old term. Like,
I haven't said that since I was 11.
I don't know that I've ever said that.
It's so
honestly,
dated.
Unless I'm referring to him on the show. But like, even then, it just doesn't even seem right. It's so cringy and gross.
It is creepy.
And he's the policeman, the COVID policeman.
That's
Notice she says that. So yeah, she's letting off a lot of steam in this clip, in all these clips.
I got it now. COVID cops. What you gonna do? There's the Photoshop. What you gonna do when they have come for you? Number 24. Who knew horses could be so incisive?
I will say this. I know that it's almost impossible to be as careful as you would hope to be, no matter what, because we are sort of programmed to greet people in a certain way. And the moment you haven't seen people for a long time and you see them, you immediately want to hug or do something. No, and you're already there before you realize, we're in COVID. I'm not supposed to be hugging.
Listen, I love my wife. I don't want to see her get COVID. And I sure as hell love me.
It has nothing to do with me getting COVID.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It has everything.
She's right. It's all about him.
Yeah, she knows. She is trained. She has been groomed so much by him. Now she's rebelling. Yeah. See, it took 2 years and about 3 months, and now she's finally speaking out about how awful. It really did.
It takes a village, it takes a pandemic. Maybe that's the Photoshop. I don't know.
There's so many Photoshops in this episode. Have at it, all of you.
Yeah. So the next one, she doesn't need a life, Howard. She needs an escape route.
I don't want you having COVID.
I'm not going to get COVID from her. She's healthy.
I don't listen. Stop it. You don't know who's healthy. She's not having me. Some people have no symptoms. You don't know who's healthy or not. Stop it. You got to stop that.
Should I take a rapid test over to her so then I don't have to wear my mask in her house?
No, wear the mask in the house. Wear the mask in the house and just eat outside and
that's my plan, sweetheart.
Stay a mile away.
You don't want rapid testing for the lunch?
I know this person. I love this person just as much as you do. But I'm way more interesting. You should be with me today.
Yeah, that's the bottom. That's what this is all about.
I like you.
Right,
I like you around. No, I know. I know you have to go. I know you do. You need a life.
Yeah, she needs life. She needs to get out. She doesn't need to be. You don't care if she's around you. You just don't want her around anybody else. That's all that is. It's control.
Bottom line, you nailed it.
Somebody's trying a little too hard to sound hetero.
Go ahead and take my picture. Let me see it.
Should I sit on your lap and should we take it?
Yeah, sure. I might get a bone. You know I get boned
but
up.
You're going to have to.
I might get a bone. It's been a while. When am I having? Why are you busy at other people? Why don't you give me what do you call it? 6 o'clock.
Oh God.
6 o'clock. It's bang o'clock.
Bang o'clock.
You can't even remember your own bullshit heterosexuality. No. The next one's called vocal warm-up time, aka me.
Look horrible. Delete this.
Oh,
I am the ugliest human being I've ever seen. Oh, am I ugly?
Oh my God.
I'm so fucking ugly.
What's
I don't
wrong with that?
You should never fuck me again. How do you fuck me? Jesus Christ, you have no taste. Oh, do I look terrible?
She does.
Bye.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh,
good luck. Nice knowing you.
So not fun.
I love you. Say I love you to me.
Say it.
Say it, damn it.
If you know what's good for you.
When Beth told me she didn't know where her purse was, I was like, that is so sad. You know, because a woman always knows where her purse is because she's always going somewhere and she grabs it. And she hadn't been anywhere in so long. She goes, I don't even remember where it is.
I can't believe how bad I look in pictures.
Oh, stop it.
It's weekend.
And back to him.
Yeah. It's fuck her. It's still about me.
Okay. $10,000 purses.
Okay, now fake William Wallace knocks on the door. First time we've put knocking on the show, guys.
Thank you, Julie.
Well, I'm not doing. It's not like I'm going to a casino now. I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, that'll be next. I know it, and you won't even tell me. You're very slick.
Well, you can't take it. I'm not going to tell.
Oh my God, I can't take it. People are losing their COVID resolve. Oh, Mel Gibson, famous Hollywood actor, is here. What's up, Mr. Gibson?
Beth should just listen to you, Howard. She needs to stay home and tell her to blow me.
Yeah, well.
Okay, so again, bullshit, guys. I'm not even going to play the rest of that. That's cringe.
You.
And the last one is Wiggy's boyfriend calls in to argue with Booey.
What do you got to say, Ralph?
Quickly, getting back a little bit, I don't think Gary's making a fair comparison at all. This was a special event. Somebody is close to Robin. She did a real test, you know, where you get the results qualified, and it's the only thing she's done for over like 2 years. And Gary's busy running to dumb concerts constantly. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Ralph, out is out. No matter how you want to quantify it, once you go out, you're out. It doesn't matter whether it's important or not.
Except if it's Howard.
Not important. Out is out.
Gary. There's things that are. Was it that important to go to a concert that you want to get COVID?
That's not the point. If you're going out, you're going out. It doesn't matter whether you're going out to get milk, a wedding, or go to a concert. Once you're out, you're out.
It does. It's a level of importance, I think.
Come on. That's your importance. Your importance isn't everyone's importance. Ralph, have you been in? You haven't left the house at all? Gone anywhere?
No, I've gone places. Yes.
Where'd you go?
He went to dinner with Chris.
I went to dinner with Chris.
So was that important? Did you have to do that? Was that 100% necessary?
So now we have that absolute connection between him and Wilding. It's been inferred over the phone and all this crap about him fucking each other. Like, clearly this is just someone. It makes me think that Wilding got his job hooking up with Ralph. Ralph hooked him up into the show.
It's very possible.
Yeah.
Met at a club, kissed enough butt, sucked enough dick. And
did some impressions.
Bada boom, bada bing, there you are. Taking over like basically the Jackie / Artie chair.
Yeah.
Because we used to get more Sal and Richard. Now we don't. We used to get
Benji even.
Whack Pack. We hardly get that. We only get like maybe Marianne, King of All Blacks, and some Bobo. High Pitch Eric once a month, maybe, or a drunk Jeff the Drunk once a month, maybe. Wendy hardly ever.
Yeah.
Once every 4 months, maybe, for her.
Mm-hmm. I think that's about it for this. I don't know that we need to call. I don't think there's that much more of the Ralph call because it really is just him piling on Booey. You want to hear another? We'll hear another 15 seconds of it, guys, just for the sake of it.
It's more about like all of the things that Ralph is doing, and then Ralph takes Robin's side.
Yeah.
But Wiggy obviously doesn't give Ralph enough crap.
No, he doesn't. No.
He's always protected for some godforsaken reason.
Hey, the keeper of the Polaroids has a special place in his heart.
Yeah,
you
it
wanted
was
to do?
110%. I had to see Chris quickly. He was in trouble. No, but
what's
Gary,
going on? Hey, Ralph, not to change the topic, but what's going on with you and Chris? Always out to dinner together.
Wait a second. I'm not going to super spreader events, Gary. Okay.
Hold on, Ralph. For Chris, substitute Sam Simon, and you have a conversation that we've had many times over the years, but have not compiled them. And one day we will, guys. I don't think we need any more of that. Any shout outs for you that you want to give out there? That means to anybody.
No, I'm just happy that things are going so well for us, and that people are enjoying our stuff. We're going to mix it up, different people, different times and different topics. So I'm happy. I hope everybody's healthy and doing well. And I'm just counting down till summer vacation. Oh my God.
Me too. And don't
6
worry,
more
guys.
shows.
Don't worry, guys. We are not actually going to be absent. I made sure of this last Christmas when we took a couple weeks off personally from recording. You didn't know because, actually, no, we did take a little time off. I think that might have been the previous summer. Maybe it wasn't Christmas. Maybe it was the summer. But either way, we're going to have more than enough content to cover you during that time. You won't even know we were gone. I will say that, guys, I made it clear on Twitter, which got mocked in some circles we won't mention. But I found it laughable because no one's quite understanding what I'm saying because a lot of them are fucking dullards. We are not going after Stuttering John the way who are these podcasts are crutching on him like the way Howard crutched on Eric the Midget shit. I think it's weak sauce. The guy's in the fucking gutter. And when I say sauce, I'm talking, he was fucked up. And he's fucking himself up so bad. I don't know that it makes sense to beat up on the fucking town drunk. Is he responsible for his own problems? Yeah, absolutely. But so is Wendy the retard. Do you pile on her? Do you pile on some of these people that have made horrible life choices? We're going after Wiggy because he's rich and still semi-famous and he has a pot to piss in. Stuttering John has nothing, absolutely nothing. And you are piling on a fucking guy who's drunk in the gutter, literally drunk in the gutter, but has an open mic that's on. You want to mock him for his shitty show? I totally get that. But I think it's just incredibly lame. And we're not going to have any part of that. We will have a So Long Farewell episode for John because that was in the works long before he, long before he made Budweiser the richest company on the planet. but we're not going down that road.
Well, we also take John's side in that. So that's like a pro John thing for having the balls to leave the show. I think there's a lot of takes that point out how he tried to contact Wiggy and it was useless.
Yeah.
He got passed over and until everything was said and done, nothing was said on the air about it because he wanted to have the conversation, but Wiggy didn't. So
that's right. And it's going to be several. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, just I am also of the same thinking that there's nothing to bust on him about. It doesn't feel right. And yeah, he's gross and disgusting and things. I'm just
delusional,
saying, like,
all that stuff.
We really don't have a beef with him. And I don't feel like piling on to a bunch of low vibrational people who honestly are just a bunch of bullies. So yeah, I'm staying far away from that. I don't comment on those things. If someone's going to post about him, I just leave it alone. I think we're way above stuff like that. And honestly, there's so much more in the world to make fun of or discuss in a serious manner. And I don't,
even not so seriously. Like if we're going to be joking about something, let's make it at least laughable. You want to be able to laugh at the joke. I can't laugh at Stuttering John being a complete waste case. The same way I can't laugh at Jeff the Drunk. I can't laugh at. I mean, I could laugh at an impression of Artie doing Jeff the Drunk's voice, that kind of thing. But it was done endearingly at the time. It wasn't like a case of it. They were really mocking him. The funny part about the fucking Whack Pack was when they would treat them like nothing was wrong with them, and they would ask them questions the same way you'd ask Joe Blow on the streets. When Artie was gone, all of a sudden it's let's parade a bunch of freaks in the fucking and let's make sure they know that they're not like us, and let's mock them. And where's at that point you're like a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old making fun of the slow kid in class.
I mean, what was worse than when Wendy was homeless and she was shitting outside of a van, with doors propped up to protect her in like a Cracker Barrel parking lot.
Right.
That was just sad, beyond sad, and losing her cat and climbing out the window and just like, I don't get it. I can't.
Yeah.
I only bring that up to show how heartless he is and how he makes millions off of people that barely, can pull it together for rent or a hotel with air conditioning for a night to get showers. That to me is just so wrong. So yeah, let's.
Right. And I've never, regarding Stuttering John, I've never shied away from my opinions. I think he was fucking talentless then. I think he's talentless now. I've always acknowledged his fucking shortcomings. I just think that in this particular case, set your sights on a better target. And who are these podcasts used to make their bones reviewing podcasts? Now for the past month or something, it's been almost nothing but fuck on Stuttering John. And he engages them. I get that, but like, trust me, you're going to alienate your fan base, guys, when you only crutch on this. Because the same way we got fed up of hearing AGT, we got fed up of hearing, merger talk, we got fed up of hearing nothing but Eric the Midget, like for 40 minutes during a show. It's boring.
Right. I mean, at least John had the balls to go out and ask questions to celebrities on the street or at events. And they weren't written by him. They were written by Jackie or Fred or Howard at the time. But, he did some stuff. He knew how to incite fights, whether you liked it or not. Most people did when the staff would fight and eat each other in studio. He knew how to produce good radio by throwing people under the bus. Yeah, that's a shitty person, but that's what made the show good back in the day, is hearing everybody fight. And he knew how to get that going. He knew how to derail from himself onto others. So he picked up on certain things, but it was only to a certain point where he would mock them about certain aspects. He wouldn't go straight. Like if Casey had a fucking alcoholic addiction, he wouldn't go like, oh, this guy was fucking, I saw him in the gutter, he left certain things alone. And I'm sure they may verbalize and said, John, don't bring this up. I hurt myself. I did this, whatever. I cut myself. Don't talk about it. It's not for the air. And he would have had to hear that from people because, he might just have said, fuck it. Let's throw whatever, see what sticks. Anyway, guys, we love you. Thank you so much. Enjoy your week when you hear this. And if you enjoy the content, tell a friend, tell a buddy, tell a wino, anybody who's got access to Patreon. We love you and hope you're enjoying the Sunday episodes as well. Thanks, guys.
This girl has father issues, so he's clearly a mad Irish drunk.
We don't know that.
She has dyed black hair. She's goth. She's like the fat gay guy son on The Sopranos. She's probably shit in the gym shower several times. And she tells Levy this on the computer, and Levy goes, "Oh, it's perfect. Perfect."